You're listening to the Here for the Clout podcast. Here are your hosts, Sherilyn Dale and Cece Suarez. Yeah, baby.
Hello, Clout queens, kings, and in-betweens. Welcome back to the Here for the Clout podcast. I am your host, Cece Suarez, and this is your other host, the beautiful, the confident, the radiant, the cheeked up, Sherilyn Dale.
I needed that. Hi.
You're welcome.
I needed a boost today. Do we want to talk about why we're in a little bit of a foul mood, or are we just going to let it go?
If there's one thing about me, it's that I can't let it go.
Fair enough.
So let me adjust my mic. So we had roasted our own, a few of our own exes. And I mean, saying an ex for me is a stretch, but hey, we had been inside each other multiple times, as they do. And listen, we're past 15 seconds, right? I can say that. We're probably gonna get demonetized anyways, but
No.
That's why we have Patreon, patreon.com/herefortheclout. So we had joked about how, our exes are dog shit. And listen, if there's one thing I love, it's roasting shitty men who absolutely deserve it and who treat women like objects and like pieces of garbage. And yeah, so not just one, not just two, a couple people commented and were like, what do I have to do to get you to roast my ex? And I was like, all you gotta do is just send us a picture, girl, and we'll do it. But then we had said, okay, you know what? Let's like have you put in like a little blurb about like how shitty they were or like what they did or whatever.
Yeah, because we're not going to sit there and just like be like, it wasn't about physical. It was just about like, tell us what they did. And we're here to lift you up and make you, feel validated that like, this was not a you problem. There are terrible men out there. And that's basically our main topic today too, is just like once we get into that.
Terrible men.
Like terrible men who put people through like so much. And you know what? It's like the one thing we have is our good friends and our girls that we can just, like let that go and just kind of get that. Maybe it's a little bit petty, but that boost sometimes, you guys, it's cathartic and it feels pretty good sometimes when you need it. So it's not always the
yes and
the best
and
route.
You can't always but also listen, as completely feral, beautiful, spicy women, we need to understand that a lot of times we can't use logic to try to combat or try to rationalize the shitty behavior of these men and how they or women and how they treated us. For instance, that one guy that we hooked up a few times and he kept saying like, oh my gosh, you're like perfect, I want to date you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my gosh, great. Well, guess what? He was afraid to introduce me to his mother and then introduce me to his father as Gabby. Who the fuck's Gabby? Because it ain't me.
Yeah.
It ain't me. Guess what, girl? You know how I made myself feel better?
Did you name?
I kept reminding, oh God, did I change my name to Gabby? No, I legally changed my name.
I changed my name.
Yeah, no, I kept looking at pictures of him and just kept thinking, oh my God, his head is so round. Boy looking like motherfucking Tommy Pickles up in here. Actually, no, Tommy Pickles did not have a round head. Looking like Caillou up in here, all right? That little bastard. Yeah, he looked like Caillou and he was like basically already balding, okay? Listen, does any of that actually matter? No. Does it justify how I was treated? No. But it made me feel a whole lot better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like and I get it. It's like, oh my God. So the whole point of that was we had announced or we had been asked on the Patreon and stuff like that when we had talked about it. So people are like, yeah, we want to do that. So Chelsea had just made a community post being like, hey, like if you missed it, like this is what we're doing over there. So if you want to join, like come on in. And it was just taken like so wrong, being like that's so petty, like, oh, way to prove that you're not mean girls. I was like, holy crap. And then I think the one that like probably triggered me the worst was, imagine a group of guys like did this like with women. And it was like, why did it have to go there? Why did we have to go there?
But also like if they included a blurb of like, yeah, she killed my cat.
Yeah.
She stood me up on like 7 dates. She stole all my pain pills.
Yeah.
Like she burnt all my socks and like wiped her ass with my toothbrush. Then okay.
Yeah.
Roast away, buddy.
Yeah.
Like
I know. And I think maybe it's just because of like the time. And I know like you know, I'm not as like affected by it in Canada, but like all of like my close friends are, and like hearing what you guys are going through with, you know, all of the men right now having so many fucking rights and everything is.
The my body or your body, my choice, or my body, his choice, or whatever they're saying now. I guess like Nick Fuentes started that. So then a bunch of people doxed him. And apparently he lives in his mom's basement. And I guess one of his mom's like work friends or like longtime friends went on TikTok. This is all alleged. I could literally be giving out misinformation. But do I care? No, because Nick Fuentes sucks. And I would destroy that little man. He is a little man. He's a little man. Anyways, so he sucks. And he apparently like he would have to get picked up from school all the time because he would get bullied, and he'd also like shit his pants.
Why?
Well, because he's a shit human. That's why. Guess what, Nick Fuentes? I will come to your mom's basement. This is legal for legal purposes. This is a joke. I will come to your mom's basement and make you shit your pants again. You better stop posting on the internet, you little goblin. Little man.
You make me feel better because, yeah, that triggered me. I was just like, you know what? Why does it always go back to the men have enough? You know what? So if we want to just have a little girl vent session, little roasty session, like let's not go into the, it's the pet. It's the, you know what? Then that I guess
petty and unintelligent. You haven't even heard my jokes yet.
Yeah.
They're gonna be top tier, baby.
Like literally, and it didn't mean that we're just gonna go like below the belt. Like we want to like read the story, give some validation, and have everybody lift you up in the freaking comments. But anyways, that fucking post got deleted because I was like, Chelsea and I were like, I literally can't even deal with this right now. And literally, our girl, Sienna, we love you, just taking fucking bullets in the comments. She's so cute. But she made a great point. She's like, I'm just failing to see like how this is any different than all of the Facebook groups in like every country, city, whatever, that has thousands and thousands. Yeah, they have thousands and thousands of members. And they're like, you know, like, hey, are we dating the same guy, or any red flags with this guy? And more often than not, like it's not like for what like used for its proper intent of like spreading awareness. People will be like, oh, like you know what I mean, like it's whatever. Yeah. Anyways, that wasn't the whole point, but clearly it was missed on the community tab. So it's just the conversation's over really on Patreon.
Sorry, you guys.
Yeah, we're sorry. I literally didn't want to trigger anybody, and then it ended up being like a whole thing. So that's what it was. We've cleared that up, I think.
But speaking of shitty men, though, I actually just thought of I'm going to do a note to self, but I'm just going to text it to you.
Okay.
Note to self. Find picture of guy who dumped me on my B-day.
Oh my gosh.
Who Linda got out of the car and yelled at. Yeah. There was one that I dated right before Tony that I saw, I want to say like 4 or 5 months ago, and they did not see me. Thank God. But his wife now, he dated her like right before me. I was clearly a rebound. I was clearly a crisis happening. And they just like the way he treated me was so shitty. And then like I tried to say like after he got back together with her, I was like, hey, like we're cool. Like it's whatever. Like I clearly knew like what was happening. It's okay. Like I kind of spiraled and like went like, I don't want to say like fell in love with them, but like my feelings got a little bit out of control. Yeah. And he was so fucking rude to me after I started dating Tony. And this was my senior year in high school. I was already 19. Tony was 19 as well when we first started dating. If the math confuses you, I do not care. But yeah, he was so fucking rude to me. And Tony kept checking in with me and texting me at like grad night. And he was like, so are you okay? Is he being mean to you? And I was like, yeah, he's being really fucking rude to me. And he was like, I just don't understand why. Like, you moved on. I was like, I couldn't tell you, buddy.
Well, maybe because he's miserable. Too. You know what I mean? Like, if, you know.
Yeah.
Or apparently not. Because you're not allowed to, right? Like, you're supposed to be the one to, like, sit there in misery and pine over this person after they just, like, demolish your self-esteem. I'm sorry that happened to you because, like, fuck you, fuck him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think because like it was weird because like I was friends with all of his friends because we were in the same grade and our school was real small and like I was best friends with like multiple of his best friends and I would hang out with them a lot like without him and like they'd come over to my house and like two of his best friends like came to like our beach house with us and they were just it was so strange. It was kind of not to, be all high and mighty, but I feel like he maybe, and even Tony said this too when we first started dating, he was like, I feel like he's mad that like he realizes he made the wrong choice.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, well, that's not my fault. That's not my problem. And now I'm just like, oh my God, I cannot like, my life would be totally different, obviously, duh.
Yeah.
But like, he never would have supported this career.
Right.
Meanwhile, Tony's like, what do you want? You want a golf cart? I'll get you a golf cart.
Yeah.
You want to do YouTube full time? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony is possibly going to put a disco ball decal on the golf cart.
Okay, so literally that means it's like kind of mine as well, I think.
It's a write-off.
It's a write-off. Perfect. I can't wait to come and then just like
expense.
bomb around in it.
Girl, I'm so excited. The Clout mobile.
The Cloutmobile. Oh my gosh, can we find some of the alligators that were that you showed me on TikTok to make me happy when we were in Atlanta?
It's the Clout cart.
The Clout cart. I love it.
Yeah. So I don't live too far away from them. And then also Gatorland is like next to my mom's house.
Okay.
And it's like a theme park, but like there's no rides. It's just a bunch of big gators.
Perfect. I'm not much of a ride gal.
I can't wait.
I say I'm going to go on
Neither
every
am I.
year. I always buy the tickets to like just do a couple and then I stand in line and then my daughter's like, are you going to go this time? Are you gonna? I'm like, yeah, I'm going. And then we get there and I'm like, nope, like it's just you and big guy going because I pussied out.
Yeah. I mean, I've gone on a few with Tony because like he loves that stuff. And I went on because we have Busch Gardens here. And so like I went on a few, pretty sure I've gone on like almost every roller coaster there. Probably not. That's probably false information. But yeah, I'm just not really a fan and it gets me anxious. And like, I don't need to be scared for fun.
Yeah, that's what I think. I'm like, I think of all the worst case scenarios and then I go on there to try to have fun. And I'm like, I paid money to just like freak out. Mind you, when I went to Disney, like that was fun. But my daughter was also like so much younger than I think Haley was like 7 or 8. So, we kind of got to stick to like the chiller stuff. Yeah, we did the Tower of Terror. That was like probably like the craziest one we did.
Yeah.
Which was fun. But on that last drop, I was like, if we go up one more time, I won't survive it. And thank God we didn't. It was like, I think they did 3 and it was like that last one. I was like, oh no, we're going to have a heart attack.
I've been on that one a few times because we have that down here and I love that one. It's a good one. It's a goodie.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I've done some, but yeah, anyways. Okay, cool. So, Cloutmobile, or no, Clout Cart, perfect. Thanks, Tony.
I love it. I'm so excited. Yeah. I made that presentation and then the next day he went and got one. He actually got 2.
What?
So he got them for free because his sister's neighbor, he had these like 2 like $20K each, like souped up golf carts, like street legal, like lifted up. They had rims, like, I mean, they still have rims, and it like sound system, everything, like super crazy. I know. But because of the flooding with Hurricane Helene, like that entire island was like underwater basically. So they were sitting in like 3 feet of water for like 2 days. So the motor and the batteries got like destroyed and he didn't want to pay to fix them or even just like waste his time on it. And so he was like, you can just take them for free. I'm just going to go buy 2 new ones.
And Tony loves fixing shit up. So
you know that he's in the garage right now.
This
has
was like a gift for him as well.
Girl, yes. He has it disassembled in the garage and on like the driveway over there. And
I love it.
He's like, he like has like painted it already. And yeah, it's just a lot.
Well, that's exciting. I'm glad you got it. That's been on the list for you for a while. So check.
Yeah, and then afterwards he was like, sorry, I was like MIA all day today. I know it was really frustrating. And because it's like a Saturday, so I'm really sorry. And I was like, it's okay. He's like, I just really wanted to get you a golf cart. And I was like, that's okay. Thanks. And I cannot wait to like take Bean and like go see the Christmas lights and everything.
Oh my gosh, if he was loving the
Girl,
Halloween
those
stuff, he's
fucking
just
Halloween
gonna,
inflatables.
Yeah, he's gonna like lose it.
He's insane. He, by the way, it is just catch up hour, I guess. But today he's doing this thing where like he tries to like jump, but it's just like his heels that get off the ground. I don't know what he's doing, or like I have no idea. And it's so funny. And it's like when he's walking and he's like
I can do this. Yeah, like
it's like a little
psyching himself up.
A little giddy up.
Oh
It's so
God.
weird. It is so funny. Yeah, he is a hoot.
He needs
also,
a sidecar in the cart. That would be amazing.
or he could just sit between us and
true.
not have it be a death trap. My God.
Okay, yeah.
Also that people like don't talk about enough is how, yes, like toddler parents are absolutely not okay, but you know who's even more not okay is 1.5-year-olds, because before they can actually talk, they just scream at you constantly.
No, it's really
they just
sad.
cry constantly.
Because you don't understand,
you're-
but they know
I
what they
am very
want
sad.
to, what they want to articulate. Yeah, I know it is. It's the worst time.
And then I saw something the other day that was like, it was like reframing like certain things for parents. And it was like, they're not giving you a hard time. They are having a hard time. So it's not that like you have to deal with this. It's that, you got to comfort them. Like you got to take care of them.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, I was like, okay. So I keep reminding myself of that when he's, screaming in my face that he wants to go on the 4th wagon ride and it's 7 p.m. and I'm like, sir, you're in the bathtub.
Yeah.
Or he keeps splashing me while he's in the bathtub, and I'm like, I've created a monster.
No,
It's
it
100%
gets
my
easier,
kid
but
though.
yeah.
He's crazy.
Yeah, it gets easier, but yeah, and it is a nice reminder, because there are some days where you're just like, what do you want? And they're basically like screaming to be like, why don't you understand what I want?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this episode, I wish that it got like, that was probably as lighthearted as this episode is going to get, because we're going to talk about, and I'm sure everybody's, a lot of people have a lot to weigh in, but I think it's important. And I think listening to different people's perspectives on it and how they're feeling about the situation and everything is really important. So if you've already heard about what's going on with Brianna LaPaglia, aka Brianna Chickenfry.
Who is that? There we go.
Brianna Chickenfry, and then Zach Bryan and the breakup. That's what we're going to talk about today. So I think what we decided was I'd love to listen to the first part of kind of Bri talking privately, like almost like a video diary, and that's how they started off their podcast. And it was just kind of her going through everything. For me, it's been like emotional. I'm like, and then that's why I was trying to like understand why I reacted the way that I did, like just being like so hurt by the comments. But I think this has so much to do with it, because this weekend I've just like been catching myself in so many rabbit holes and seeing people, reply and share their story, and, like thanking Bri too for like, think what you want about her and not to agree with everything that Bri has said or done in her career. But that woman fucking turning down blood money, essentially, like, like that was badass. It wasn't a small amount. $12 million is literally more than life-changing for not only like her, but her family.
Yeah, but also that was so, not to like make it, about like the business sense, but I think that like a lot of people could just be like, obviously, yes, that's like, I don't need to work any more money, right? Like that could sustain you for realistically for the rest of her life, of course, if she, just wants to be comfortable. But the thing is like, when you look at it from a standpoint of like, no, fuck you, like that's not worth, but whatever. But then it's also like, okay, but also realistically with how much press you're going to get, with how much like for like a better marketing move, yes, is to, not take that. She's also already rich. So
Yes and no. I thought about it, but like they even talk in the podcast that prior to this, it's already been like written in stone, and they've already made the decisions behind the scenes that BFF podcast is going to be done in like, I think in January. So, and Plan Bri is on hiatus. There's obviously things going on with her and Grace. And so
oh my God.
like her platforms, no, like we don't know where they're going right now. So it is a very uncertain.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's a very uncertain time for her. And it's still, for me, had I known that and been like, well, you know, like, of course she's like, she said, like, I was somebody before him, I'm going to be somebody after him, and I'm not taking this to be able to look at my house that I put the down payment on with that money and be like, you know, like, and you get to feel better about it and I don't get to tell my story. You know, she's like, I've been, you know, through things and haven't been okay, but I know I'm going to be okay, and I don't know where like things are going. But yeah, like they're saying that the it's already been cited like for almost a year that they're not going to be doing BFFs anymore. And then we see everything with Grace and stuff, and that's also really sad because it's not, I don't think that Josh has said in a podcast kind of confirming everyone's suspicion that the rift between Bree and Grace is because of Zach.
Bree and Grace had a podcast before BFF started. They were like best friends growing up. That's how Bree and her came up together.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But they have a podcast called Plan Bree that they did together. What happened was Zach hated if anyone else had an ability to put their input to Bree on like anything. You know what I mean? Like he even tried to double her offer at Barstool so she'd quit doing social media and just be like...
Bree?
Like Zach offered Bree double her contract.
So she would stop doing social media.
Stop doing social, because he didn't want anyone in her ear. He didn't want Dave in her ear. He didn't want me in her ear. He didn't want Grace in his ear. So he split up the friendship between her and Grace. Like at one of her birthdays was screaming at Grace, yelling at Grace, going off on Grace. So then Grace and Bree ended up having like turmoil because of him, you know, always causing like...
Well, yeah, because it's her best friend.
Yeah, and then her boy, it's a tough situation.
Damn.
But
he sounds like an asshole.
And he popped the fuck off on her at Bree's birthday once and was basically like, you're a nobody, you're not going to be anybody, like you ride people's coattails, went off. And so, yeah, lots of uncertainty. I think she's had a fucked up year. And people like Zach Bryan are fucking pieces of shit because it was triggering for me for a relationship that I had been in. Worse than that, not to say like, oh, mine was worse. I honestly think that she was probably in something very similar to what I was in, but has not disclosed everything yet because she's probably not ready. This is so fresh. It took me so long to finally tell people in my life like what I had gone through. First of all, you're embarrassed by it. And then you're kind of like... traumatized. Like it takes so much like as you like kind of flow back being like, I'm the last person that I thought would ever be in this situation. So I don't even think we know the half of it. And there are clips, you know, that are circulating on TikTok showing her making certain statements about like bruises on her and stuff, and like Grace asking about them. Her nose was like broken a few months ago, and she said it was her dog that was like high up and jumped on her or something. So
my whole body hurts and I keep finding more bruises and scrapes, and I pulled glass out of my cheek last night.
Look at my phone. It's smashed from him. He's always smashed my phone.
I think I'm nearing a mental breakdown, and I've been living on a bus for the past month, so that doesn't help the mental. Zach and I got into a traumatizing side-by-side car crash. It flipped a bunch of times, everything shattered, and thank God we had our seatbelts on. But there was a lot of blood, and we thought we were like saying goodbye to each other. And also I broke my nose the other week. Boston, I don't know if you guys listened to the podcast, Boston jumped off of the top of it was just like, so I was like 12 feet high. She jumped off of it and kneed me in the face, and like I fell and went black, and I had to put my nose back in place. So now I can't breathe out my nose.
She hasn't said anything like that, but it's, you just kind of like see her soul and light dimmed for a lot this past year, and it's just really sad. And it's so sad. And she said the same, how much, you know, she's happy that she, you know, did it the way that she has, and she's sharing her story and didn't take the money. But she's like, it hurts my heart because people are thanking me for doing that, but I'm seeing how many people have been in the similar situation, and that sucks, you know. But anyways, I think, are you good with that, listening to the first part of her kind of like tell everything?
Yeah.
Hey guys, I've tried to record this so many times. I sat down for like 5 hours in the podcast room trying to record it. I haven't slept yet. I guess let's just get into it. And if I do cry, I'm embarrassed too. Like I didn't want to do any of this yet. I just wanted to deal with my breakup privately, but that was robbed from me. So here we are. So pretty much after all set, like everything was done, I was approached by his team and I was offered a lot of money, like a big lump sum of money and a few options. Basically, I would have gotten the money over the course of 3 years. I would have had to sign all of my experiences, everything that I am, away to this person. They would have been monitoring everything that I do. And at the end of the 3 years, I'll receive like that big lump sum of money, like throughout the years. I thought about it for a second, and I think they tend to forget, I started to forget, that I was someone, I was established, I was successful before him. I'm gonna be someone, I'm gonna be established, I'm gonna be successful after him. Maybe I'm not gonna be selling out stadiums and fucking making hundreds of millions of dollars.
Pause real quick. One thing that I do find interesting is obviously there's a difference between like being like mainstream famous, obviously, and then also being internet famous. But arguably with an internet career, I mean, you can, sometimes that's way, not even sometimes, that can be way more lucrative than being, you know, someone who is on, you know, selling out stadiums and all that. Yeah. So, and I don't think she's trying to like discount herself. I think she's just making that point of like, yeah, he's very famous, but guess what? Like, yeah, I'm going to still be here. And yeah. I think there is something to say about that. Like kind of how we were talking about, one of the questions we had when we were with Jesse and Lily was like, who's the most famous person in your contacts? And that was the question of, well, like mainstream famous, like celebrity famous, or like internet famous. Yeah. And yeah, so I mean, she's very, very, very internet famous. Yeah. Very internet famous.
And even like she talks on this too, like she was all, of course she wasn't doing like, you know, stadium tours, but they were doing their podcast tour right after his tours, that she pretty much like dropped everything, went and supported him. And the plan was that he was going to, you know, she was really like excited and proud to like have him like come and see what she does and kind of enter her world after it. And he was like, no, I'm not going to go anymore. And then was like breaking up with her on text to fuck with her head the whole time. So it's just like, I like that you made that point because, you know, maybe like the way she's looking at it now, like she got to see all of that. And
I mean, anyone who watches YouTube, like it's just so interesting because like you can look at, it's like when celebrities have podcasts and you look at the views and you're like, what's going on here? Yeah. But then you look at people who are internet famous and who have been on the internet for so long, like Jesse and Lily. Jesse and Lily's podcast gets so like 100%, 500% more views than Snooki's podcast.
Yeah. And their analytics are insanity. Like, I think people don't understand, like, what Jesse and Lily are doing is, like, insane because their subscriber watch ratio is out of this freaking world.
Crazy.
Usually, you know, like, if you have, like, if you looked at Jesse and Lily's, like, subscribers or whatever, it's around, I don't know what they're at right now, but, like, around, like, 100 and maybe 50,000, something like that. Their videos are getting, like, $100,000 or 100,000 views in 24 hours. That is nuts.
Yeah, it's insane.
It is so, it's insane. It's so cool. But yeah, that's a great point because yeah, when you look at other people's, like I was even thinking that with Eminem's daughter, Haley, she's got her a little bit shady podcast. And I think it also like just requires like the work that you want to put into it. She probably doesn't take it like as like, okay, this is my career, this is my everything seriously. But same kind of thing. Like people that we know, their numbers, they work so freaking hard to like just like shoot numbers like that out of the water. So it's a really good point.
Yeah. I just love her. I hope she's okay.
I hope she's okay too.
Okay.
Is like, I'm all right where I'm at and I don't want blood money. And I don't think you can pay people off that you hurt for them to protect you. I think that in itself, offering millions of dollars to this apparent beautiful relationship to keep it a secret speaks volumes. Yeah, honestly, that's all I'm going to say on that. I did not accept any money. I will not accept any money. I think that's beneath me. I am not previous people. I am me, and I will not just, great guy. I don't want to nitpick everything he's ever done. I don't want to talk about all of the bad shit and get into details. I want to talk about the ending. And I also want to blame myself a lot for this, because half the reason this all happened to me is because I let it. And I think this is why it's so important for me, and I think other girls and women that experience the same thing. It's like, I kept showing up when I shouldn't have, and I kept like loving and giving when I shouldn't have. And that comes down to like, that's a me problem. And I think a lot of people do that. If you're not getting the love that you're giving, you have to walk away. And I genuinely,
I know it's easier said than done.
wanna
I can
fucking
literally
bawl,
see.
like-
I know. I can literally see like you being like, no, stop blaming yourself. It's his fault. But I think she's saying right now what she needed to hear. And I know personally that's what I needed to hear as well. Of like, you get past the point of like, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. Like, you deserve better. Like, you need to get out. But it's also like, yes, you need to get out. Like, this person's going to keep going. They're not going to stop. You need to remove yourself. And I mean, I've told you this before, like I would not have removed myself from my ex. And I sound so fucked up saying this, but like, that is one good, I mean, and one good thing is that he's not in pain anymore from, you know, him ODing, but that like, I was free, you know, like it was a vicious fucking cycle. And I was free. I would not have my son, have my husband, have Wiggum, have this house, and you, and you. Bitch, I'm about to cry. I love you guys. So yeah, it's just like, you know, and I was almost at that point. And then I went back to try to like save him. And it's like, you're letting it happen. You got to get out. Like you have to get out. Instead of like, no, it's not your fault. He should be doing better. And it's like, yeah, duh. But like, they're not gonna. So get the fuck out. Like,
yeah, it's not our job to fix somebody or even take on their projections. Like as their, I don't even think that a lot of these men like see the bad in the person that they're beating you down to. Like they see how good you are and how strong you are, and the only way that they can control the situation is to beat you down and make you less than, because they're that fucking insecure. And I think for somebody who's really good, like I think Bri really loved him and had all the best intentions and saw, because she says, you know, the love bombing was insanity for the first 4 months. She saw just this perfect man, not a flaw, who loved her insane. Like she said, I think it was like the second day of them, like, because they I think it was like over a weekend, they like fell hard. They were like, we're soulmates. They went on like a super long road trip together. They were like, oh my God, this is like, you're my best friend. And he got her name tattooed after like 3 days or something like that on her.
So I'm like, this is going to be crazy. I'm going out with Bryan on a road trip. We go, I mean, it's immediate after love bombing, which is like, okay, I really am just like, oh, we really hit it off. And he's like, we're soulmates, whatever. After that weekend, we spent 3 days together. I think 2 or 3 days later, he got me tattooed on his arm. That's when I should have.
Wild. That's right away, by the way. And I'm pretty sure I brought this up in the past. That's when you should have known.
I know.
So now we know, as more people talk about this, how much of like a red flag that is, even if at that moment it feels like, oh my gosh, like look how much he's like committing, and you know, he feels the butterflies like I do. It's those little breadcrumbs that just like start to, you know, get laid down, and and
there are definitely instances where it's like it does happen super fast.
Oh,
and
look
like,
at Jessie and her husband. They met at like same thing over a weekend. They were like, yep, this is it. We're done. And you know, they've got a beautiful relationship and marriage. So it's not to say that if that everything like that is a red flag.
You remember when we were sitting on the couch, and the way when she's had like 2 drinks, and it's like her head's heavy, and she like turns and just like looks at you. It's like her head's not screwed on all the way, and she's like, hey, can you and she's like, I know you're here, but like, can you and Tony come back? And I was like, yeah. I was like, Tony loves being, you know. out of the house and like going
Anywhere.
places. I was like, we just got a new big car too. I was like, but we've also been talking about like spending a weekend like up in like the mountains and stuff. And you know, one of our friends has all of our friends have places in like Highlands and, you know, North Georgia. I was like, we'd love to like make a 4-day weekend out of it and spend like 2 days with y'all and then come up. And she's like, great. Cause you know, he really seems a lot like Nassim. And I'm like, yeah, no, they are very similar. And she's like, yeah, I would just love for him to, you know, have a friend. I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, just like one. I was like, okay, Jessie.
I love it.
They are so funny though.
Yeah, so it can happen.
But yeah, I mean, and
right, it can happen.
And,
I mean,
that's
is more
like,
of...
yeah, and like that's like with us too. It's like like I said, I've been dating since we were fucking fetuses, is what I usually say. But 19 weeks, girl. No, 19 months. No, not 19 months. What? 19 years. Oh my god! Since we were 19 years, since we were a sack of cells, we've been together. Yeah. That would be incest, because then we'd be twins. That's Jesus not it, Chelsea. What's happening? What in the Cersei Lannister?
It's her goblet. It's her goblet of white wine.
It do be my goblet. But no, that's the point, is that, you know, and you still, like, I was about to ask you, like, how they, like, said I love you after, like, however long. And it's like, damn. But it's also, like, they're adults, though, you know, and, like, established in their careers. And I feel like when you're younger, that is a lot different. Like, I said I love you to him. I want to say it was, like, 3 weeks. And we also were hanging out almost every single day. Mm-hmm. Like, we did not spend a day apart. And we're both young. And it's just like that. It's just my fucking person, you know?
If
and
you
I knew
feel it, you feel it. And I think there's a difference.
Yeah.
I think looking back, honestly, I can't speak for Brie, but I'm sure once she kind of like starts to process this, and you do kind of, whether it's a past relationship or maybe like the next relationship or one later in her life where it's like that one, you do feel the difference. There is it's something that screams in your heart that it's almost like you're just kind of like trying to justify it for yourself by being like, no, yeah, it is, right? But when it actually is.
You know who she should date?
Who?
Okay.
Pete Davidson?
Because
no.
You said that way too fast. You want to date him?
Yes, I do.
Listen, if I had Tony's approval, I would. Usually I'm always like, I'm not attracted to any other guy. I just want you. But like, I'll hook up with another girl and you can watch. But
I love Pete. There's something about him. His swag, his confidence, but he's got a lot, but he's open about his, I don't think we'd be good in terms of the mental health issues unless we went to like, you know, like the same therapy building and then just went into our sessions together and then like came out and just made ourselves better, like for each other, not like as a couple, but like individually.
No, I couldn't, there's only room in this relationship for one very mentally unstable person, and it is I. Okay, remember someone was saying before that like I'm the black cat, you're the golden retriever.
Yeah.
So Tony's a German Shepherd and I'm a black cat. She's a black cat, and I think she would do better with a golden retriever, just with like how she is. And the most golden retriever man in Hollywood right now, Glenn Powell.
Okay, I knew you were going to go there. And you know what? I'm okay with that now because I was kind of like, you know, really like rooting for him and Brooke just because of like the lore behind like how that whole like rumor started. I thought it was fucking hilarious.
That's so diabolical and so funny. If y'all don't know, oh, I'm sorry, you're still here? So you should hear this too.
You should know this too.
So if y'all don't know, Brooke Schofield from the Canceled podcast had an inside joke, really a secret mission with one of her best friends to where they would
make someone jealous.
Them in her phone. She was trying to make this one of the men on her roster before she got in a serious relationship. She was trying to make this one guy jealous. And she had one of her best friends in her phone as Glenn Powell. And so Glenn Powell would be texting her at like 3 a.m. or calling her or whatever. And she would just let the guy see it. And she was like, oh my gosh, yeah, sorry, he's crazy. And then she starts going to Aloe, the gym, like all the time. And she's like an ambassador for them. Well, guess who else is? Glenn Powell. And she like sees him all the time there too. And like then there's like pictures of them together on like the Aloe Instagram, and like the guy sees it, and now it just starts like building up on the lie more. And then she finally was like,
but there was a moment where people were just like tagging him too, like in all of her stuff, just being
people
like,
still
the
are.
new man,
So,
like your new
it's
man.
So funny.
It's Glenn Powell. But anyway, she's announced that she's in a happy relationship, and it's not with Glenn Powell. So this would work with Brianna. I don't know.
Yeah,
someone's amazing out there for her. She deserves it. You know, everybody does. You know, and even if you've done shit in your life, you know, if we all have. Not fucking one of us is damn perfect. That's for sure. And that does not mean that you don't deserve to be happy and be forgiven and make yourself a better person. So
yeah, and I also think with the like her and Grace stuff, because I know people are gonna be like, yeah, but hey, take your yeah buts and put them up your butt, because that's not the conversation we're having. However, it's very much so like I watched it over and over again what she was saying, and she even said afterwards, she was like, I was, you know, I went through that same exact scenario and like had that same experience as Grace did.
Oh, you're talking about when people went for her because of that was hard to watch. Very hard to watch. And you know, then even with knowing everything that was kind of going on behind the scenes, like it was for anybody who doesn't know, they have their podcast, and Grace was saying how she was going to be going to Atlantic City for a show with Whitney Cummings, and Brie kind of said, oh, I hope it's not like what happened last time we were in Atlantic City when we were 16 years old. And then Grace was like, it's not my fault. And basically Brie was like, no, it's not. But, you know, if you're listening here, you know, like, and if you're underage, don't go to strange places with, you know, 36-year-old men or 40-year-old men. Like, they're going to do bad things to you. And it kind of, like, Grace didn't want to talk about it, kind of kept going on. And, yeah, it did seem like a little bit of victim blaming. And then when Brie finally did talk about it, she kind of explained, like, you know, I didn't even get into the fact that, or I don't know if she did say it and it didn't get aired or whatever, that she was also in that situation there. And it was like, you know, like a bunch of them being young, thinking that they were cool, hanging out with all of these older men. And she's got a point. It's like, I understand where the point was of the delivery. It was just delivered very poorly and clearly hurt her best friend, like feeling like she had to say, I don't want to talk about
kind
it
of like
anymore.
this. Yeah, kind of like the straw, not the straw that broke the camel's back, but like kind of it's the pile on of that, and you know what's been going on behind the scenes with like the relationship and you know, Brianna pulling away because of the abusive relationship that she's in. But it's, I mean, that sucks altogether, and I do hope that they can rekindle.
Oh fuck,
because
I
that
do
will
too.
be
Like,
so,
I've thought
important.
about them so much. I'm like, listen, like I've been here, girls. Like, we can get through. Let's Dr. Phil this. I will sit in the middle. I will immediately, please. Like, I will do it with my best friend. You know, like if it wasn't for my best friends showing up at my fucking work when they knew I was not going to be around this man and I was going to be alone because I wasn't allowed to ever be alone, like I would have died for sure. 100. If they had decided to give up on me, I'm getting emotional.
Oh God,
that was
weird. Your nose is tingly, isn't it?
Yeah.
Was it Sienna and Kelsey?
It wasn't. No, it was actually like two of my best guy friends who I definitely was not allowed to talk to. So it was like secret. Yeah.
I love that. Oh, brothers.
But yeah.
Welcome back to Therapy Hour.
I needed a second. Sorry, guys. For them, I hope so much that they're going to be able to get through it. I think obviously we don't know what happened, but it, you know, Grace is, I hope people don't pressure her to be like, forgive her. You know what I mean? Like, this is a completely different thing. Grace has to, you know, like, she's so valid and entitled to feel whatever she's feeling behind the scenes. We don't know what happened. Based on what Josh said on the podcast that he was on, pretty much saying that it was her that Zach fucking lost it on in front of all of their friends and Bree's family around this like campfire drunk. That's not okay.
Which is crazy because he's like, you're riding the coattails, blah, blah. And it's like, but I don't want to be like, as long as someone's okay with that, but a rising tide lifts all boats. Like, whenever like my channel's doing good, the podcast does that good. Whenever, you know, your channel's doing really good, the podcast does good, and I do good, right? Like, and even, I don't know, it's just, it's strange because it's like, oh, you ride the coattails. It's like,
no, we help each other, and you know, like she brought her
and
best
Brianna,
friend on, and their chemistry
she
and
wouldn't
banter
have done
is
it.
amazing. That's her best friend since childhood.
Yeah, she wouldn't have done it if if she didn't want to.
Yeah,
especially like meaning the podcast, and like, and obviously that helps her better too, because it's like, what's she gonna do? Have a podcast by herself? That's boring as fuck.
Yeah,
believe me,
which is why
we've done it.
Exactly, like that. Yeah, which is why you want somebody that you know love and have similar goals and chemistry and all that stuff with, and who
like
better
Frank
than,
and
your
Joey,
best fucking friend, you know? Yeah, exactly.
They have the best chemistry. Someone actually asked me today. They were like, "Oh, Chelsea, do you still have?" I think it was actually in the Patreon, in the chat there. Oh, did you know?
I love our
Patreon.
Chat. I love
Patreon.com/here for the Clout. Did you look at all of the gifts that were made?
The ones you sent me. I've been using them now. I'm like, I'm a gift.
Raquel, you had no right. They are so good. They are so. I messaged her again and I was like, these are so good.
Yeah, no, they made my whole day.
Tony texted me earlier today and he was like, hey, he said, I think it was like, oh, can you come out here and help me with something? After I had like already put after I'd already put Bean down for his nap, and I was like, okay, Tony, I'm taking him. It's a holiday. You're off work, right? Like, I have him for the morning, and then after his nap, then you have him afterwards until dinner, and then I take him again because I love doing nighttime routine. That's my shit, girl. He texts me and he's like, hey, can you come help me with something? I'm like, no. And instead I sent him the gif of me going.
I love that one too.
And when I went out and just like, excuse me? and when I came out there, he's like, you took the time to make a gif instead of just coming out here. And I was like, first of all,
it would be something I did. I could do, but no.
Yeah, I was like, no, I did not make that myself. Thank you very much. Yeah. Shall we continue?
Yeah, let's continue. I want to listen to Brie. And
are we gonna cry a bit more, or shall we?
I think I
will.
We're gonna be okay, we'll cry together. I think I'm good. I don't know. I didn't think I was going to. I knew I've been emotional, but I didn't think I was going to at that point. So, but
guys, don't insult us. We'll either fall in love with you or we'll cry. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I genuinely think that this is such a blessing, because who fucking knows how long I would have stayed and how long I would have dealt with this shit and like just been a doormat to someone with this big crazy life that just like seemingly cannot take accountability for the way he treated me. I think this is a learning moment. I think this is a lesson learned, and I learned a lot about myself in this relationship. I went through this 2 times. So I obviously went on tour with him, and I like gave up myself to do that. And like I said, willingly. We talked about it a lot, and it was like a sacrifice for our future. And it was 1 year, we could do it. It would be over. And I was just willing to sacrifice for someone that I loved. I didn't think that it would end like this, obviously. Throughout that, it came a point where I had to plan my tour, the tours that I've been doing for years. And I started planning it, and we planned it according to his tour schedule. So it was planned where I could be at everything of his, and he had a 2-month break. I could go on my tour, and we could just like relax and take a break, because the year was very grueling on obviously him, but me too. I'm living on a bus and traveling every single day, and I'm not with anyone that I know, and it was really lonely. I was gonna get off his tour, get off the bus, and I had a couple days, and I'm gonna go on tour. He drove me to New York City and dropped me off, and it was kind of abrupt. It was like, he just like got in his car and left, and I'm like, he's like, I'm not ditching you. I'm gonna come like on your tour in a couple days. I'll see you. Like, I love you. That felt a little weird. I was like, what the hell? I knew he wasn't coming. And that's okay, because we talked about it, and it was basically that he had just had the hardest year of his life. He just wants to sit still. He wants to be here in Massachusetts, be at home, and just be quiet. And I'm like, you know what? That makes total sense. I'll go on my tour. I'm excited. I'm so excited to get back to me and like do what I was doing. It will be nice to have like this time off, you know, away from each other where I'm back doing my thing and he can just relax, recollect himself, and get ready to go on the last leg of his tour. And I set off on tour, and him and I are fine, and we're talking every day, obviously. I'm thriving. I'm so happy. I'm back in my element. It's all over social media, obviously, like I'm posting about it. I'm so excited. I'm back with my friends. I'm like doing me, and it's very evident that I'm happy. All of a sudden, there's this shift with him where he suddenly goes to New York City and throws a pop-up show and stops answering me. Just completely is just 180 from, babe, I can't make your tour because I really want to just be home and be here and be present and relax, to, okay, I'm not gonna come to your tour, but I'm gonna go have a pop-up show in New York City. I'm gonna stay out all night for all these days and not answer you. And then I'm gonna text you when you're on your biggest tour that you've done, and say, actually, I can't do this anymore, out of nowhere. Well, I'm in Seattle, I'm across the country. And I'm like halfway, it's hard to even look back on because I'm halfway through my tour and it's fucking awesome. And like, obviously every day I'm wishing he was there, like how I showed up for him. But I respected that he just wanted to be home because I understood that he had a hard year. But then he just went out and went crazy and threw parties and then tells me he can't do this anymore with me because he needed me during these 2 weeks that we had planned for me to be on my tour. He needed me there, but we had planned this according to his schedule so that I could go live my life. And I genuinely think he just needs someone that can be that can just be the girl. And no one should ever just be the girl. And I was so close to just being the girl.
Kim Kardashian said that same thing.
I do love that she just said, I don't think anybody should just be that girl. And again, I think because this is so fresh for her, like I said, clearly I'm fucking triggered, traumatized 12 years later, like trying to like revisit some of the shit that I went through. This is so fresh for her, but it is part of that justification, you know, like where it's like talking yourself through it. And I'm glad she is, by being like, you know, this isn't a me thing. She's kind of going through that, which is great. But I like that she said, you know, no one should ever be that girl, because I think in that same sense, he's been with women who are not famous. There is very strong indication that these women have also experienced the same type of emotional abuse that Brie has and signed NDAs. They're in completely, they are just everyday women on the streets. Like he served divorce papers to his wife who was on deployment. This man does not, you know, it's like when he's done, like, You Are Nothing. This is, you know, a whole album was written for her. The most beautiful songs, you know, for her, she'd probably, like Brie, the love bomb, like, oh my God, look how much, listen to these songs. This is about me. And she's on deployment. And it's like, marriage over, here's the divorce paper. She's fucking signed them while she's gone and he's moved on. So then there was another girl, Deb, after and before Brie, and she hasn't said anything. And when this came out, I think people were, you know, like kind of looking to see what's going to happen. And she posted a video, and it was, what was the Taylor Swift song? I can't remember, but like very much like she's cracking open a bottle of wine, she's pouring it, and like, you know, like she felt like this freedom. And it was kind of like, whatever she's saying, like, I get it. And
yeah,
I can't talk, you know, kind of like validating, I can't talk about it.
Yeah.
Y'all know why, but I feel validated. I feel free because somebody is able to.
And that's got to be so. Yeah. Yes, someone's finally able to say something, and it's listen. Like y'all can say all day long, like, "Oh, I wouldn't take that money." You, girl, you wouldn't take $12 million over, and we don't know what Deb or what anyone else was offered, but you what? I would assume, just from like a business standpoint, that Brie was offered probably the most because she is famous and
she does
has a
say that
giant
too.
platform.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we
but
don't know
also,
what
like,
they
you
were
can say-
offered at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like when people have said before, like with Hannah Alonso, love her so much. Go subscribe to Hannah Alonso. She's the best.
Yeah, love
But with Hannah, how she, had to take down a certain number of videos and make a retraction video that looks like she's being held hostage, in my opinion, about Melaleuca, the multi-level marketing company that is not a scam and not a pyramid scheme, allegedly, reportedly. I don't know. I'm just saying what the internet says. It's probably not true. I don't know. Who knows? Not me. Also, their CEO and founder, or not current CEO, but their founder, the owner of the company, he is a billionaire, and guess what? He can suck my swamp butt, okay? I hate you. You're an asshole. Leave my friend alone. Yep. Okay. Anyways.
No, I know.
But it's kind of like it's kind of about like the thing about how people will always be like, oh, well, I wouldn't retract that, or I wouldn't like be silenced. And it's like, you don't know what you would do until you're specifically in that situation. Like, I never thought that when I received a 34-page cease and desist from Money that I would actually comply with it and take down those videos.
You weighed out so much. You weighed out so much in that. I remember that. And it wasn't because you disagreed with what you said. It was the legality. It was exhausting. And at that point, like, this is similar because when you're in a relationship that is this traumatic and exhausting and you're at that point, for somebody who doesn't have the platform like Brie, with ride or die people who she knows, of course people are going to have their opinions and maybe not believe her, but for the most part she knows that she's got a strong group behind her that does believe her. But if you're Deb, who didn't have anybody, and she goes out and says this, as much as we want to say, oh, we believe the victim, abso-fucking-lutely not. I know for sure that no one would have believed her. Not no one. A lot of people wouldn't. And then what's she going to feel like? Okay, like, now I'm the crazy girl. I'm coming and I'm trying to, get money or whatever. Even if I turn down money, it takes somebody like Brianna.
Yeah.
To sit there.
And it's even like the monetary aspect of it. Yeah. It's like, okay, do I either, take this and not talk about it and like not talk about it publicly and make my life way better.
Yeah.
And like be able to afford the therapy I need because of this man, and like, move on and buy a new house or blah, blah, blah. Like, so you never know until you're in that situation. But you're right. I feel like from just what you've said, like that must feel so validating finally, of like, fuck yeah, someone didn't take the money.
Yeah,
like,
someone
now,
didn't and can say something.
Now
and
this person
the video will insert it. Yeah, we probably won't be
queen.
able to play the song because it's Taylor Swift or whatever, but it's so cute. She's just in her hoodie. She's got it pulled up. She's open and pouring her glass of wine, and it's like, you can see that there's just this freaking weight lifted from her. Even if she can't talk, she's so aware that people are watching and knowing what she's subliminally saying.
I forgot to dye my hair. Are you upset with me?
No. Why? Oh, because you were gonna go darker.
Yeah, because after watching that we would like to formally apologize again for that Wade Wilson episode on Patreon.
No, the best was the comment you just sent me from Patreon. Who was it and said, minus the nasties? This is my favorite Patreon ever.
The Patreon I've ever been a part of.
Yeah, I love it so much.
And listen, we do be giving y'all a lot over there. Like
it's only 30 seconds too. That shit went on for 8 minutes and we cut it out.
Not even just that. It's like the behind the scenes and like the extended episodes and the extra episodes. Like,
We're
Like,
working overtime, but we love
girl,
it for you.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we're like, girl, we're putting in that, we're trying to compete with Trisha Paytas with Patreon. I swear
You know what
to
we're
God.
trying to do? We're trying to be able to, if anybody in our lives were ever to, like, you know, we cross somebody like Zach, that we would have no qualms being like, I'm not even going to second guess the dangling, you know, like money in front of me because F
Listen,
you.
no, yeah,
And
so I do need to dye my hair so we can be even more of I am Drew and I am Danny and we are not the same person.
yeah, you do. I do love when we're like super. This is what I feel like. We either have to be like super committed to like the light side or the dark side. For us with brunettes, there's not really a lot in between. We've either got to like go to the blondes. Like you in the Maryland blonde era. Goodness,
Girl, I miss it so much.
Goodness.
Tony showed me a picture yesterday of why is it zooming in on your face?
You guys didn't see that, but
so my iPad died, and we usually use we're not in the same room, just so you know, but we usually use Google Meet, and I have it on my iPad. And if you're on Patreon, actually, this week you'll be able to see. I'm gonna post a behind the scenes of like her setting up and then me setting up for the podcast because y'all have been asking for that. So it's like full ass tracking you. Now it's tracking the bottle of wine. What's happening? I don't know. And my iPad died because it's stupid and it just stops. It just doesn't tell me when it's not charging, I guess. And so we switched to FaceTime because you can like share your screen with FaceTime and all that. So I was like, okay, that's good. So it's like tracking her, and then like I guess when she like makes her eyeballs wide, it like
it got cinematic, slow zoomed as Chelsea's talking.
Girl, Ken Burns who? Like full ass. Like,
I can't even look.
Hilarious.
Stop looking at me on here because you were getting intense and then I was getting intense listening, and it was just like and panning.
Like, and me too. Oh my God. Also, not to like continue to shout out the Patreon, but hi, that keeps us alive. We just want to say thank you so much and we appreciate it, and y'all are the best. And
Literally.
Also, we're gonna do a little feral mommy girl tonight with making our little vision boards.
Oh yeah, and so we'll put the details in the Patreon because what I'd love to is like for even if we don't do it like on live or something like that, it would be really nice to kind of let everybody know what day we're doing it, and then they can get their supplies and then kind of do their own vision board at the same time while listening.
That.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah,
I think that would be good.
Oh my God, I love that. So I like to have mine done. I usually like to like do mine like in that weird time and space between Christmas and New Year's.
Yes.
When you don't know what day it is.
And you don't know where your life is going to go in the new year. You're trying to reflect and you're like, oh, I could have done more, or what are my goals? Or, yeah, I know.
Yeah. What are goals? How do you spell it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have no idea. But now I have a printer. Last time I didn't have a printer when I was doing my vision boards, and that was really frustrating because I was buying like 40 magazines to try to like cut stuff out, and I'm like, it's all the same ads.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you have a printer, it's much easier, so you can just like print off easy shit from like Pinterest or whatever, and then cut it out and do it. That's what Isabella Lanter does. If y'all want to get like good tips for doing vision boards, holy shit, she's amazing. Also,
makes an insane espresso martini. Mine and Isabella's cup collection is identical. We don't drink iced coffee out of like a plastic cup. No. We've got the rigid. Every time I see Isabella make like a cup of coffee, I'm like, oh, that's my girl. Like that is.
She's definitely our other dark-haired twin.
Yes,
for sure.
Yeah,
or triplet. She's the best. I texted her something gay the other day. I forgot what it was.
Oh, you told me about that. Yeah, you and Tony were watching something, and you guys were both boned up, I think.
First of all, yes. But yeah, she's just the best. If you have not watched Isabella Lanter, she's great. She's much more chaotic. She's basically she's the little sister of us.
100%.
Way more chaotic. She hasn't been humbled by a child or two yet.
No, she hasn't. But I love that for her. Baby, keep living. I love when she posts her little apartment, like her cozy apartment nights. I'm like, oh, baby girl, I wish I was making money in my 20s like you are, and just really fully owning that. Like,
take take all the naps.
Yes. Light all the candles in peace.
Oh my God.
Drink that
Lighting
wine,
candles?
baby girl.
My kid will burn down my house.
I know. We've got like the freaking, what do you call it? Like, essential oils going, and it's like making sure we don't have the ones that are going to kill the cats, but also we like don't want the kids to like spill and eat like a candle. So
and not the MLM ones. So
yeah.
So we literally just listen. We're a big room spray family over here. Okay, that's what we do.
Do you guys have sage? I love sage for essential oils.
No, I don't have it in like oil form, but I mean
I need a good saging lately. But no, the store is called SAJE, and they have beautiful diffusers and essential oils.
No, we don't have that.
Oh, it's like a storefront. It's not an MLM. It's amazing.
Yeah, no, we don't have that.
Okay, well I'm gonna send you some.
I mean, just send me you.
Okay, I'll come bring it.
Guys, just so you know, with the patreon.com/here for the clout.
It's going to trips. So much, that's literally what we're saying. We're like,
that's literally it.
To be able to be in the same room.
Yeah. And I would love to be like, oh, it's for me to go up there. It's for Sherilyn to come here, and then for us to go to Coachella, and for us to go to LA.
Oh, I can't wait to announce possible.
No.
Stuff.
No.
Okay. All right. Let's get back on track. Jesus. I needed to get off there for a little bit. I was still like, we have to go back to our girl Brie, but I needed a minute because I was getting too projection.
Yeah.
Somebody commented on one of my latest videos, and then they said, I really want to love you, but the side tangents are really getting me. And I said, I fear this is actually the most tame of all of them. So, because I was really focused.
I fear you're in the wrong place.
I know. I was like, I love you too, but I can't be what you need me to be as much as I want to be.
There was someone who commented, and it was actually so sweet on one of the pod episodes. And they were like, girls, I love you so much. And like, I want to support you, but like, please don't take this as hate. And right whenever I see that, I'm like, fuck, I can't keep reading. Yeah. It's going to destroy me. Yeah. But no one, and they were actually so sweet. And y'all are real. It's nice because it's like the spiciest of like my people who like really, really get me. And then like the most dedicated of like your people too. Mm-hmm. It's like meeting. And then sometimes your people don't get this, but then like the ones who like really, really get me, which is good. Yeah. Because they know that I'll murder someone for you.
Yeah.
That's a joke. Calm down.
No, I believe that you would.
They said, I cannot, girl. They were like, it's just like you're covering like a lot of dark stuff lately, and like I'm just not in like that place right now where I can handle that. And I was like, girl, your mental health is more important than a view. I was like, get out of here.
Yeah.
Log off.
You gotta go. I know.
We love you. Like you.
No.
With peace and love, you're kicked out. You're banished.
You gotta go.
You can come back. We love you so much. But I mean, we try not to cover like too deep of stuff, but that's why we go on the tangents of like, okay, this is getting too deep. It's like our brains like noping out and being like, okay, we gotta go.
Noping out. No, you do need a little bit of the tangent. And I feel like the people who get it and appreciate like the side commentary, because I think that feels more like you are with a friend, right? And I think that's the whole point of
us,
this.
And
Raquel, if you don't turn that into a GIF, I may revoke your Patreon of Chelsea just going like this.
Listen, I've been trying to figure, there are like 4 or 5 people who I've been trying to figure out how to do the like Patreon gifting, but I think we have to have more members first. There's like all these things I want to do, and I'm pretty sure we can't do them until like
we hit a certain
until
amount.
Like we're bringing
because I know
so
there's some ride or dies of both of us who like you know fucking times are tough for everybody, and we so get it, and it breaks my heart when I see like I can't commit or whatever. I just want to like, Christmas be able to do like a
Rebel Without a Cause for you. They now are like obsessed with me too. Love them. They just I just got an email. They upgraded their membership. And then there's Christy on she's been a subscriber of mine since I had like 2,000 subscribers. Like less than that actually. I'm pretty sure she's within the first 500. She's amazing. And then Raquel, obviously, she's girl, she be like putting in prompts in the Patreon chat, and then there's like a bunch of other ones that are just whenever I see their names and stuff, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I love you. I just want to pet your head.
Emmy. Yeah. There's
Bitch, Emmy Kate.
Emmy.
Bitch, what's she doing, Emmy Kate?
Love her so
Smitten Kitten.
Yeah, there's just
I see
so
you,
many.
Smitten
Yeah,
Kitten.
we see you all. Like, that's why I love Patreon, though, to just be able to. Anyway,
That's another one. Smitten Kitten has been with me as long as Christy Russell, and oh my god, literally, like, I'm before like 1,000 people. I'm not joking. It's crazy. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry. We got to keep going. I can't.
Yeah, we do.
But I'm on tour, and I'm like, holy shit, I kind of forgot, like, who I am and what I built and all of these fans that are here and all these shows. I'm touring the fucking West Coast. I'm flying all over. I'm doing so well. I'm so happy. I'm finally, like, feeling like myself again. And I just get I can't do this anymore. I need you. And it was like, what? What? Where is this coming from? Why are you breaking up with me when I'm across the country on my tour? My tour documentary is out. You can slowly watch the light fade from my fucking eyes. It's really sad to watch, but you would have never known that. You would have never known that. No one there knew that because I put them first and that tour first, and I wasn't gonna let for a second him take that away from me or my team or my friends. I have 3 more shows left or 2 more shows left, and I'm a mess. Like, I can't even talk. I'm just in my hotel room like, what the fuck? I'm like, do I fly back? Do I like try to talk to him? What is happening? It was just so out of nowhere. And for why, I don't know. Have that thrown on me while I was on tour was awful. And I got through it. I got through the tour, like barely. I flew home and I'm like, no way this is no way this is happening, right? Like, I'm gonna go home and it's gonna be like, no, this isn't what's happening. And I get home from 3 weeks on the road of nonstop travel, and it's pretty much like, hey, it's time to move out. I'm like, what? Can we like talk about this? Not even that I want to figure it out. Like, can we have a conversation about what's happening? Because I'm fucking lost, bro. I am like, are we on 2 different planets right now? Did we not just build a life together in where I grew up? Did we not just
right here.
talk about constantly every day getting married and kids? Did we not make video diaries for our children every day? I go away for 2 weeks to give myself a little bit of something, and I come home and it's pack your bags.
Like that.
I was gutted. I drove back to Boston the next morning and still getting nothing. It's just like, I've accepted it. I had to cancel Surviving Barstool because I had to look for a place to live, and I had to try to comprehend everything that was going on. And I don't think a reality show would have been the best for me, which sucks because I really wanted to do that. And I was really excited for that. And I feel like there were so many things that I really wanted to do.
I feel like people don't understand how hard it can be to be dealing with all of this and also trying to separate your job from it, because yes, when you're going through something hard as a civilian, as a private individual, and then still going to work, yeah, that's hard. But when your money, your job, everything is built off of your person, of your persona, it's so hard to be able to compartmentalize that and maintain these relationships and show up every day. Not to sound like an MLM girl, but
yeah,
it's so freaking hard when you're going through something very difficult,
Especially because she doesn't want to, especially because in her mind, you know, like that love is so strong there. It's public. She's put, you know, like she's been there. She doesn't want
she's defended him.
Yeah, she's defending. There's that point where it's him, right? Like she's defending him, doesn't want to like talk or share about something that you're always protecting the person that you love, right? And she loved him so much. So why is she going to go out all of a sudden and be like, even though he's doing that so awful, she's like in the back of her mind still hopeful that like, you know, okay, everything's going to be fine. It's going to work. That's, you know, misunderstanding or, you know, whatever she's telling herself. We've all fucking been there. And you know, you don't want to
put your shit out there.
Yeah, and you don't want somebody to come for somebody that you care about too, right? And then you know, if it does work out like you're hoping it does, want everybody to hate that person or question the relationship, because then they've already dealt with all of that. You know, like they've dealt with so many of like his cheating allegations and the girl that came forward with like the STDs and stuff like that.
Which like them dealing with they've been dealing with cheating allegations and all this, and she's defending him, and it's kind of like how you're not like supposed to talk about, I mean, you can do whatever you want, but like good advice is like, hey, don't talk shit to your family about your spouse, because they don't, like if y'all get in a fight, like they don't love them like you do.
Yeah. And
even like me and like I have one person and she does the same thing with me. We are each other's person. For if we get in an argument and I need to let shit out, I do it with her.
Yeah.
Because
same.
She gets it and I get it, right? And it's like, you understand we have that boundary, but I'm not going to talk a bunch of shit, which I'm obviously not going to do that anyways. But like, if I was in that type of relationship, I'm not going to do that with my family or on the internet or anything like that, because then it's like, okay, your followers, your viewers, your family, your friends, they're not going to be as quick to forgive your spouse or whoever, because they're not in the relationship and they're not there every single day. And taking like the abuse and toxicity out of it and all that.
Yes, obviously.
Yeah, it's just it's
you do suffer so much in silence, and you don't you argue,
so
you know, you go back and forth in your head of like, at what point is it enough like for me to say it, right? Again, is this going back, there's not a shred of doubt that she fucking loves this man so much, or loved him so much, and you know, wanted to get back to that person that he was pretending to be for those first 4 months. That was perfection to her. You know, she saw that glimpse, she saw that goodness, and she was just like, I see the good in you. But you know what? Sometimes that good is actually not that person.
It's a facade.
Yeah,
it's the honeymoon stage,
which is hard.
That sucks you in. And that's one thing, like I've said to, oh my God, Tony and I had so many friends throughout the years that, you know, him and I had been together for 3.5 years before we got engaged. Like I said, started dating when we were 19 and basically 20. And then we got married when we've been together a total for 5.5 years. And we didn't move in together until we were engaged. And my dad like specifically was like, no, you're going to move in together when you're engaged. And then like my dad always said, he was like, that's the trial period.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and it's crazy because we saw so many of our friends get married, get divorced, get married again, get separated, like have a kid, get divorced, like, or, you know, all these different trials and stuff, and people just trying to move so fast and trying to force things. And it's like, no. You need to see if your relationship will last past those special moments that give you those butterflies and the highs that you're on. So the high of being in the honeymoon phase of like you're first starting to date, and then the high of, you know, these exciting moments of, oh, now we live together. Oh, we just got a dog. Oh, now we're engaged. It's like, okay, cool. But can your relationship survive the lull? Can it survive the, you know, slow times, the hard times? And if it can't, you shouldn't be together.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
And
every relationship, I think, requires compromise and obviously a lot of like commitment and communication, and you're gonna go through your ebbs and flows, but not where you're feeling like you've lost yourself, or that you're walking on eggshells.
Yeah. So I think we both and a lot of people can relate to multiple things that she's saying, not only about the abuse allegations that she has not alluded too so far, maybe. But with the emotional aspect of it, of like, they cannot appreciate and they can't celebrate your success, basically. And that's crucial, and that just shows insecurity, and that's what it comes down to. It's insecurity,
which is
and it's
wild
not
when you
okay.
think about somebody like him who's, you know, it's got to be all him, where she's, you know, she's trying to make the excuse of making herself feel better, being like he needs somebody who is just able to always be that for them and not have their own identity. And, you know, like she said, nobody should do that. And that's so sad, because that is that type of person. You can't have anything. Like, what kind of life is that?
Girl, it's like how I mentioned, it's like
it's still
Kim
never going to
Kardashian,
be enough,
she,
too. Like, I just want to make that
exactly,
clear. You know, like, I hope that if you ever were in that situation and you're like, I'm good with that, it's still never going to be enough.
No, it will never be enough. But it's kind of like how Kim K said, like, Kanye just needed someone to, like, travel around with him. But, like, it was never going to be enough. And she had even said, she was like, it's so messed up because, like, he built me up.
Yeah.
She's like, if I wouldn't have any of this if I wasn't his wife and had these connections. And now she's a bad bitch without him, and even a badder bitch without him, because she's separated herself completely almost from him, which is extremely admirable. And the way they handle that is crazy.
No, yeah.
And like,
when you look back at that, it's insane. Like, and in the same sense, it's actually, I don't even want to go there. I want to say, like, you know, she's got such a platform. I know that they try to focus as much as they can on, like, the positivity of everything and whatever. But it you know, when you have somebody like Brie, it feels very validating, you know, like, as more people who are in this situation that you would, you know, that you think have it all or have it figured out or very confident and strong, you know.
Well, and even people who aren't at the, like, that level of, like, the Kim K of it all, right? The people who were able to be more, like, parasocial with. There's, like, the tiers of, like, you know, his other exes who can't say anything. Well, can't, because legally, say anything and, you know, don't have a platform. Or then, you know, Brie, who does have a platform and can say something. And then, you know, people above that who have the, like, biggest platform in the world, but because of, like, the PR of it all and the image of it all, don't say things like that. Or because of their kids is what they've said is why. But
yeah, that's fair.
It's crazy, and it is fair, but
and this could have been different if
happy
there were kids involved at the end of the day. You know, like this situation with Brie could have, because she could have also kind of struggled with that of not wanting to put things out there, and somebody seeing that from, you know, like the dad, you know, like her dad and there's a lot to consider. But
and I thank God that there's not. I mean, there was just a house involved, and that's it, apparently.
And pets. He's taken the pets, like, that she loves so much. And that's all she said, too. She's just like, please, like, can I please fucking, like, just have them back? You didn't even want the cats. Like, you didn't even want them. And when you look at her past videos of how much they, like, you know, kept her, you know, I think there's one that she can't get back right now. And it's like,
I miss Stump so much. I want to kidnap him. But when he left and didn't tell me anything, I just took Stump, like, out of spite. He didn't even like cats. Jack hates cats. Boston loves cats. I love cats. Could someone steal the cat back from me? Like, I'm not joking. The animals throughout this have been, like, one of the hardest parts. Like, I just think about Boston and Jack and Stump. I think about Stump every night.
We should continue with her. As hard as it is right now.
I know.
I was excited for, and I was made to, like, hate so many things about myself that, like, I once loved. And, like, I just, like, started to just do everything with him in the back of my mind. And I don't think that's how any relationship should ever be. Like, of course you think about your significant other, but you shouldn't think about, like, is this gonna upset them, or is this gonna like cause a fight, when it's things that shouldn't upset people. I drove home and I, like, came to terms with it, and I just, like, surrounded myself with friends and family and, like, fucking cried to them. And I think, like, 3 or 4 days went by and I get a call from him, like, it was all a mistake, and, like, I need you right now. Like, he's going through his own shit, and He's like, I need you to come back. Like, I'll come to you. Like, I'm sorry. And like, I foolishly was like, okay, like, okay, I'll fucking come back. I'm embarrassed of that. Mm-mm. But like I said, when you love somebody, right? But that's also why I say this is like partially my fault, because I let myself be treated that way. And I don't know why. Like, I don't know why. I just was in this like crazy cycle with this guy.
So I know both of us hate the fact that she's saying like, I let myself be treated like that. It's like, that is my fault. I know that both of us hate that. And I know a lot of you hate that too, but also like, you can kind of tell that she's in like the healing process of it.
Yeah, of course.
And she's like, she's in that like self-aware, like that self-aware space.
Yes.
I just want to make that clear. Guys, just be, shh. It's okay. It's
no, and it is. And I do like that you said that, because I hope that anybody who can resonate with this right now is able to see that and like take a point of like accountability of, you know, like, yes, like, of course you don't want to be like, oh, it's my fault or whatever that I went back. There are fucking a trillion sides to every fucking decision that we make.
You were being manipulated. Yeah. That's not your fault. You were manipulated. Yeah. But also 15 years later, I can look back and be like, I cannot believe I was such a dumb bitch to let myself be manipulated like that.
But it happens. And in that moment, you can't like separate yourself from it. Those emotions are so strong. Like,
yes. Yeah. Almost as strong as you, bitch.
Thank you. Love you.
You're so beautiful.
You are.
Have I told you that today?
Have I told you lately? Is that our song?
I love you. Yeah, I need to learn all the words though, and I need to know exactly how I should sing it. I might take singing lessons
I signed up for them, and then I think we should. I would love. Know what I would love is to do it with the online coach, so that we could do it together. Right? How fun would that be?
We should make out. I gotta go. By the way, I need you bitches to know I did not fondle her at all when we saw each other.
Oh, do people think that? No, you didn't.
Well, because remember I said I was gonna spoon you and then I was gonna make out with you. I did not make out. Oh, we got a little smoochy.
When?
Because we slow danced. This bitch doesn't remember. Remember when we were slow dancing at the concert and Lily tried to like sing with us and I said, "Leave us alone. We're slow dancing."
Oh, yeah, that was an emotional moment.
Listen, everything's fine. We were all going through it.
The footage from that fucking concert between like you, me, Jessie was in it. Like she was watching. I love that though. Like
her and Joey were having the best time,
and I love that. But yeah, we were like,
God, I miss him.
Are you joking? I was like, listen, we're in love. You be gay, I be me. We just get an apartment.
It's
together.
Perfect.
It's perfect.
A dream come true. Yeah, I love him so much.
I can't talk about it. I can't see their pictures anymore. When we have when we post like pictures.
I posted one today and it said, imagine we go on tour and it's sponsored by PF Chang's.
Okay, but that's going on the vision board, so.
Yes, and girl, I ordered Tony and I PF Chang's last night and I fed him the lettuce wraps.
Oh,
and he goes, I get it.
Those lettuce wraps. Okay, that is so weird. I ordered lettuce wraps yesterday, but from Brown's, and I was like, oh man, this guy stinks.
Oh brother, this guy stinks. SpongeBob memes live forever in my brain.
I know, it did suck. Yeah.
When I was putting on Bean's pants the other day, I was singing the song, "Baby, put your pants on, pants on, pants on," you know, because Miss Rachel. You're welcome,
I was
toddler
going to say, is this Miss Rachel? Miss Rachel's not in my kids' era, so I miss her.
Oh, good. And then I started singing. Tony said he was like, listening to you like talk to him and sing to him is so funny. And I was like, I need you to like videotape it sometimes because I black out. So
it's your tender side that I know of you and people don't see.
Yeah, when I snuggle you at 5 a.m. And so that literally is though. I treat you the same way I treat my baby. Yeah. And so I was like putting his pants on and I was like, "Baby, put your pants on, pants on." And I was like, was like, Bean, the song sucks. I was like, you know what song's way better? The Krusty Krab pizza is the pizza for you and me. And he thought it was so funny. And I was like, that Krusty Krab, yeah, pizza.
I love it.
And then I started like beatboxing. I was like, the Krusty pizza.
And then that's when you were like, you know what? My kid thinks this is a hit. I can be a singer, and I am going into voice lessons to sell out stadiums.
Lessons. Oh my God, arena tour.
Yeah.
Yes. Chaperone who? Yeah. Well, and then I want to get a keyboard so I can learn how to play on that.
Okay, you'll be that because I have no interest. I would like to like maybe learn how to like, you know, do a little strummy strum on a guitar, but
you will. I think you have better confidence with your voice than I do, because I get way too in my head. Like I can sing. My dad has the voice of a goddamn angel, a cowboy angel. And then my sister has a beautiful voice, and I sound exactly like both of them. And when I'm not in my head,
you just gotta let it out. We were supposed to go to karaoke and we never did, but we'll start with one private.
Never did.
Yeah, I know. We'll start with just like a karaoke in our hotel room next time. Maybe in an Airbnb, so we don't have the pressure of like people around us. And then there's nothing better than like karaoke.
We should go to Key West.
Why? Do they have karaoke bars there?
Because there's all the gays in fairy wings.
That's my heaven.
I know it is. It's great.
And
there's a Wendy's. There's a Wendy's on the corner of Duval and something. If you know which one it is, ladies, put it in the comments below.
Wendy's number 1 is my favorite.
Let me tell you how many times I went to that specific Wendy's. So many times during my bachelorette weekend. so many times.
You're like, we don't need any catering. We just go to Wendy's.
No. Yeah. No, it was amazing. Yeah, Key West is real fun. And then the little scooters you scoot around on.
Perfect.
We love that place.
Yep, that's where I'm going then.
It's great.
Fine. See you there.
Let's do it. We can
Patreon, we need you. I need my trip paid for.
we can fly down, or what we can do is, so you can fly down and then we'll take a
golf cart?
Calm down. Can't go on the interstate. We'll take like a Sprinter van.
I just literally pictured us like Dumb and Dumber
on the interstate. Yeah.
When they get the scooter and they just go.
Bowl cuts and all, baby.
Okay, that's actually the best.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Pull over. Thanks, it's a cardigan,
cardigan, but thanks for noticing. That would be amazing. All right. Okay. Move on.
So you're saying I got a chance. Yeah, no, it's so much fun. That, like, I feel like in our 20s, Tony and I were always going down there for like bachelorette trips and bachelor parties. Like, it was awesome.
Yeah, there's so many fun places to go in the States.
Girl, it's amazing. And it's like, there's so many, like I was telling you before, I want to travel more in the US and like focus on that, because there's like snowy places and beachy places, and some European like it's very
wait. If we're doing snowy places, we need to understand that you come to me. I have the best snowy place. So
no, I will. Okay. Yes, I know.
I'm very excited about this.
Okay, let's continue.
I came back and like he still never apologized for what he did to me, and I kept asking. He'd be like, "I'm gonna apologize. I just can't do it right now." And he never did. He never apologized for like doing what he did to me when I was on tour and then like sending me home, and then there's nothing from it. So I guess I'm like staying with him to like hopefully get some sort of closure. And then we went into Boston for my live show, and a lot of horrible shit happened that night. I don't want to get into details right now. I don't know if I ever want to get into details.
This is where I'm talking
about. But a lot of horrible shit happened that night. And the next day, it kind of ended with us wanting to work through it, me willing to work through it, and forgiving, and like him telling me, like, I can't lose you, I need you, and me being like, okay, all right, let's do this. Like, we can get through this. And then the next morning we wake up and I'm like getting a cold shoulder. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like it was always so hot and cold that like I didn't know what version I was gonna get ever. And it's just cold shoulder. And he's like, I'm going back to Oklahoma. And I'm like, okay, I've been telling you to go back to Oklahoma all year. Like I want to go back to Oklahoma too. I miss it. He goes back to Oklahoma and I don't know where we stand at this point because he won't give me anything. I'm asking like, are we okay? What's going on? And he's just like, I need to go back to Oklahoma. I'm like, okay, cool, but us? And
it's so sad to feel like pathetic and in somebody's hands. It's sad to hear her say, you know, like almost like, you know, feel pathetic like that. Like, I don't know where we stand and you're kind of holding on and this person is getting off on that vulnerability of you. They're not giving you enough, but like, no, it's not really done yet. I can't apologize yet because they know that that's the closure that you need and you're holding on for, okay, either I'm going to get that and it is going to make things different or whatever, and then distance themselves, and then you're holding on like, where are we? And they're not saying anything because they know that that keeps you pining.
It's like you're emotionally being like held hostage in the relationship. Yeah, and I've experienced that far too often of the, God, it's like every fucking relationship was before this guy over there who has now locked himself in his man cave. And yes, he has a man cave because I'm not trying to see any autographed sports memorabilia anywhere else in my house. Okay? No. So he's in that room. It was supposed to be a guest room. And then we were like, wait, we don't want guests other than you. But yeah, so he's in there. He has the door shut. And it's like, before him, it was very much so the me pursuing someone and like not like concealing my feelings, not playing games, but then they're playing games and they're like, oh, well, now she's too available.
Yeah.
And now like she's actually trying and now like I don't want to. And then once I'm like, okay, then I'm done. Like I deserve better. Like goodbye. After far too long, then they come back. Like I had this one who we will roast, but there's not much we can roast him for because he's fucking beautiful, or was last time I saw
but
him.
Apparently we only go after looks.
First of all, his mom has told me multiple times that I'm the one that got away. Yeah, his mom and his beautiful little sister have both told me that I'm the one that got away, and I was like, you're right. But they're both so nice. I love them both so much. Sheila, I love you, girl. That's his mom. She's never gonna watch this, but it's just so interesting to see like when you do pull away and then but no, I was wrong, and it's like you're too late. And yes, it's satisfying, but then it's also like, oh wow, they were just fucking playing games with me this entire
because it will never change. It's constantly that there's nothing, like, and it's not you. That's the hardest thing I think to like grasp in that situation is like it's,
but you are the only one who's gonna get you out.
Yes. Yeah, it takes you.
And that's
you
the
can't
difference.
wait for like that end point or whatever, because of course they're just gonna love it. They're getting
because not everyone's ex is gonna die, Sherilyn.
Fuck my life. Yeah, no, it's true. Once you do, that's actually what's hilarious and so eye-opening for me, you know, like when it was like finally like the gig is up, the game is over, like you were so fucked up.
The gig is up.
The gig is up. I'm on to you, mister. It was crazy when I finally left that relationship, and oh my God, the shit that I dealt with after. It's dangerous. Like, protect yourselves. I didn't change my locks. I wish I did. I did after one situation that I knew I was so blessed. Like, someone was fucking watching over me, because I woke up 4 o'clock in the morning. And it was something in my head screaming, woke me up, like, open your fucking eyes. Woke up to him standing at the end of my bed. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then he's like, I was just checking on you. I was just checking, making sure you were okay. And I was like, why are you in?
Okay, Edward Cullen.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Why are you in here? Like, why? And because that was like it, right? Like, there was no more ties. There was no more control. One of my best friend's brothers lived in the apartment below me. And I kicked up a fucking stink. Like, I went crazy. My neighbors ended up coming out, and thank God, you know, like, so I had people, and he left pretending like it was all cool. The next day, the locks got changed, and that was pretty much it, because it was like, I feel like in my heart, like, that was that moment. That was that moment that something could have fucking gone really fucked up, because I had drawn that line in the sand. I was over the back and forth, and that was like his last attempt at having like some form of control, and maybe being like, well, like
to show you he can get in at any time. He can have access to you no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I had that.
yeah, and then the locks were changed, and I moved immediately after that. But it was terrifying. But I can relate with her where it's just like, yeah, it just never will. But you do think that in your head, you're just like, you feel pathetic, like you just, and you don't want to, you know, in your head, like, leave, like, don't, you're better than this. It's just so much easier said than done, which sucks.
And also, ladies and or kings or theys and thems or whatever the fuck you are, you can typically, it depends, but you can typically get out of a lease by writing a very strongly worded, assertive, professional legalese letter to your leasing office or landlord stating that it is no longer a safe environment for you due to like an ex or something like that. But make sure you look up your state statutes regarding tenant and landlord laws and things like that. So if you need to break a lease due to like an unsafe situation with an ex or someone, please do so. I know it may be inconvenient.
Point. Yeah, babe, I think that's a really good point.
It might be inconvenient, but it is extremely important. And I know it sucks. And hey, breaking a lease might like really push you over the edge financially. Your life is worth that, and your safety is worth that, because they still know where you live. And that's not okay. Also though, hey, you can also talk to your leasing office. Is a little tip from everyone's favorite non-patrol deputy. Now he's in events and charities. But from everyone's favorite man in charge, off-screen Tony, that if you talk to your leasing office, you can possibly work it out with them and the local law enforcement to have an ex. It might take like 30 minutes in confrontation, but you might be able to have your ex trespassed from the property so that if they show up there again, then they'll be arrested. So that would hopefully deter them from going there, but also then you have a paper trail, and that's extremely important.
Yeah, I think that is. And I know a lot of people think, especially like coming from true crime, I've heard a lot of people like feel really helpless of being like, oh, like no one cares. And I get it. I've seen so many, like way too many cases, even myself, you know, where it's like I tried and, you know, you feel like the authorities aren't going to do anything until something happens. While that is true in a way, there are certain like steps still that can be done where there is that paper trail. And that is so crucial. Like it is so important. So important. So go for it. Like.
And also, hey, I shouldn't be saying this, but I'm going to. If you ever want like law enforcement or EMTs or whoever to be there ASAP, let's not get crazy, okay? If it is an emergency to you, okay, then tell them, I need lights and sirens. I need, like, let's go. Obviously, if it's a domestic thing, they don't pull up with lights and sirens. They pull up quietly, obviously, to not spook the aggressor. Duh. Those are the most like spooky calls to go on. That's not a professional way of saying that, but
no.
I think that's important for you to understand. If you call and ask to order a pizza, mostly every single law enforcement agency knows exactly, like the dispatchers are now trained to know exactly what that means. And so if you call and order a pizza and just keep talking with them and just keep answering their questions.
Yeah, because they know. Yeah. I just saw a case actually like of a woman who was being R-worded. Yeah, and
yeah, I think it was in something with a V. I can't remember. It was close to us though, but there have been multiple cases where that has happened. There have been a few in Hillsborough County as well. But yeah, I mean, that's a great way to do that. It's kind of like when you're out at a bar
imminent danger, like right there, like yeah.
Or not even imminent, but like I need help, and if like the person with me knows I'm asking for help, I will be then in danger. So that's important too. Yeah. But then another one, the thought is out of my head what just happened.
If you're at a bar, you order...
there we go.
Yeah.
Do you know what I was going to say?
Is it the angel shot or angel drink or something? That's in Canada too,
Yeah, so if you ask for an angel shot, it's like, hey, this person's harassing me. I'm pretty sure they're gonna like sexual assault me, or like, please just give me water.
I'm just feeling,
like,
yes.
I'm extremely uncomfortable, and I have previously asked for an angel shot many times.
Have you?
And yeah, it got to a point where at one of our favorite bars, used to be before I got roofied there. I can never go back there now. The trauma. My God. But yeah, at one of our favorite ones, there was one of our like favorite bartenders. I literally said to him once, I was like, hey, like we had like I forgot what the code word was. I think it was, I'm gonna get arrested. That's not a code word, that's a phrase. But it was something like that. And then he would say, why? And I'd point to the person and he'd say, okay, they're cut off. Yeah, it was not good. But yeah, anyways, it was basically like, hey, can you cut this person off so that they stop talking to me and then they leave and then I don't have to choke someone? Please. Yeah. In self-defense.
Well, and then you've kind of got eyes on a situation. I think something that's really important too is in those types of, wow, we are just like teaching all the tips and tricks right now. But I think this is so freaking important to talk about. And I know we're going on side tangents, but I think it's like,
it doesn't matter. It's important.
Yeah, the moment to like talk about it. But you might like think in your head, oh, I don't know what I'm going to say. You know, it's about like, I think this is universal, not just like in Canada, because everyone's like, oh, Canadians are like so polite and they don't want to like offend anybody. This is a really good, so if that's just like your nature, these tips are really good to, you know, just kind of like have in your back pocket. And even if you're wrong, like at the end of the day, I'd rather be wrong and have it in that kind of subtle situation than
be
the
dead
alternative
in someone's closet.
Yeah. Like, well, yeah. I would. I'm curious to see the feedback in the comments of, and it scares me because not scares me, but just like breaks my heart because I already know the feedback that's going to be in the comments of
what
people that can relate to it. Like
that
Bree
can
said,
relate to it. Yes.
You know, like it's crazy, which sucks.
Yeah.
But that's why I want to hear from her because somebody in her situation, because you always think like, oh, maybe if I was in this position or maybe if I was like this established or whatever, this wouldn't happen. And it's like, no, this fucking happens. And it, with somebody who has the eyes that he does on him to do this, and then in the back of his mind, just know that he's going to fucking write a check and it's going to be gone. I don't know. It's icky. I think that's why I got so triggered about the comments too, was I was like, I knew what we were going to talk about, and the feeling, you know, of understanding where Bree was coming from with all of this, and then just seeing something that was like so, in my mind, innocent and just kind of like lighthearted, but also just pulled up and validated some of our followers who have just like been done dirty.
I think it's the loud minority of people because like I kind of said, like I posted that last night at like 2 a.m. And we didn't get like almost any comments on that until like 3 hours before you had like even let me know about it. Yeah. And because I didn't even look at it and I was like, oh shit, okay.
I didn't either. I don't look at comments. It was our CC.
No, and I think
our other CC. That's what.
Yeah. Like I think that speaks volumes though too, is because like I had logged in to the comments on that channel like midday and there was like not really anything new. So I think that speaks volumes as well, as like all these like comments rushing in at once. It's like, okay, like what? And I even asked the Patreon too. Like, I mean, bitch, we can look right now too. I asked the Patreon for feedback on it.
I freaking love our Patreon.
There are a lot of free members for a Patreon, which is weird because like you don't get anything for free. I'm very sorry, I love you, but you don't get anything for free.
They're just
you get this, hello. But there's almost 200 paid members, which is crazy. So I asked on the goddamn, where is it? Someone said I was so young and dumb. Oh my gosh, not Raquel saying, where do you get these men? And then someone responded with a trash can. Oh my God, I love us. Okay, yeah. So, I responded and said, hey, y'all, we posted to our community tab on YouTube about the Roast My Exes segment / episode. This was never going to be a YouTube episode, just a Patreon episode. But in case others didn't see the call out, I wanted to put it there too. Wanted to post it on here. There were a few comments who were excited about it, but other people who didn't understand the concept or maybe were thinking it was wrong. I said, please let us know your feedback. Personally, we don't think it's, roasting shitty men is mean girl behavior, but we could be wrong.
Yeah.
And literally everyone says to do it. Personally, I'm, scared to share a picture, but I really want you to react to the experience. You're not wrong. Call those rats out, bestie. I'm worried that one of y'all was also messing. Wait, what? Angela, you can't write. You can't type. What are you doing? I don't think it's wrong. Blah, blah, blah. Apparently.
And apparently, I've been on live television before.
Yeah, everyone, loves it.
But because I think they get it. It wasn't about just, being oh, you look like that. That's not what it is. It's them being able to have a moment to share their experience and what they went through, and then us talk about it and lift the freaking queens. Lauren said, where are we submitting the photos of these fuckers? I've got mine ready to go. Anyways, we should have never asked on the Patreon. It's fine. But I don't think that it's any different than what's his name? Fucking Jeff Ross roasts, where, again, we just, celebrities and, the boys club, they just get to go hard and whatever. Mm-hmm.
Because
and then
we're
just this little bitty channel that is trying to do something.
Because we're women. Because we're women.
Oh no, but
because
if
we're
there
women,
was,
it's mean girl behavior.
Well,
mean girl behavior.
No, we're mean girls apparently. I've never experienced the online mean girl thing, but again, triggered because of my experience. I think I have to let that go.
Have you ever heard anyone tell you that it's career suicide that you have a podcast with me?
No. Who said that?
Oh, I've seen the complainers, as I like to call them. Yeah.
That it's career suicide that I'm with you?
Yeah, that it's a bad move that you're with me. But what they don't know is that my self-tan looks really good right now. And it just makes you look better.
I just look better than her. No, your self-tan is actually detrimental to me. I literally said the other day, I was to Haley, my daughter for the Sephora sale, I was and I need to get there's a certain tan that Saint Tropez has now that I've learned my color theory, I can't have the greeny base. I have to have the purple base.
In her color theory.
Oh, I know. So I need to get that because I'm oh my God, Chelsea is. Well, I'm a ghost.
Yeah. Okay. So that I'm so proud of you. Actually, I'm sorry to acknowledge the fucking color theory and encourage it, but you do need that one because I'm good with the Saint Mariz one because it's the reds and greens because I'm more red because I'm so Scandinavian and Caucasian that I have the red undertones, and so then the more green tinted self tanner is better on me.
Yeah, I'm the violet because I'm very cool, cool undertones. So
I'm warm.
You are warm, baby girl. Oh God, I wish I was warm as fuck. I've had to change everything about my anyways, we have to let Bree talk.
How gay does that sound? She wants to be warm, I'm warm. Hey. Gay. Okay. Oh my girl, over the past few days, I've been wanting to go like this so much.
From Adrielle?
Yeah.
She has a point. She has a point.
Listen, it's not the right point, but it's a point.
She has a point. She's able to get the point. Because guess what? We listened. When she kept going with that, I was like, oh, what are you going to say?
Guys, and then Sherilyn texted me the next day, and she said, oh my God, they're all on live together. And it was Ashley Trevino and Adrielle Sigler.
How was that? I've never seen that before. We do an episode and all of a sudden they're fucking on live together. And I didn't even watch it. I just sent you the screenshot and you're like, our nightmare. Oh my God, what happened? I was like,
yeah. I said our nightmare. And girl, I had so many people on my TikTok DMs. They'd follow me and then they DM me and they were like, I'm only following you on here so you can live battle them. Y'all are wrong for that.
Thank you.
Jesus. Okay, let's get more traumatized.
Let's listen to our girl.
He's just I'm going back. I'm like, okay. I ask. I go, can I have a hug before you go? This seems like it's going to be the last time we're going to see each other. And he goes, you're being so fucking dramatic. Didn't give me a hug. Okay. So that's the last time I saw him. I knew that was going to be the last time I saw him. He went to Oklahoma. And I still never go,
That cat's
never
on
had
another
a breakup
level.
conversation.
The fuck did
I
that-
never had.
It just felt like it landed
a
on
phone
me.
call about what's going on. I've just had like argumentative words, and we didn't have the sit down. Like all I wanted was like a kinder goodbye. I'm well aware people break up and things happen, but people break up and things happen in like a normal way. That this just was like discard, leave, bye, me cry. And I talked to him about it a lot. Like talk about, like we finally, like I guess had our breakup conversation over text. And it was the same day that he made his Raya. And that day we have like our talk, and we talk about how moving forward publicly is going to be on me and on my terms and when I want to say it. And I was like, I just need like, just give me a week so that I can deal with this before I have to deal with it online in front of everyone. I get a bunch of DMs that night of like, girl, your man's on Raya. I'm like, what? So I'm like, what the fuck? Obviously, it's like, dude, you are the guy right now. Like, you are so famous. Everyone is going to immediately post that. Do you not have any like remorse or regard that you claim to for my feelings when you know we broke up that day, you make a Raya? Obviously, it's going to be the first thing online. Like, obviously, one that's humiliating.
But remember, he's not a social media like marketing person, and she is.
No,
So
but I think he
he's-
knows exactly what the fuck. Like, I'm sorry, but even for his own mental well-being, like,
Well, no, of
you
course.
don't fucking start
yes.
a fucking Raya account. Oh, wait till she says what he says in reply to the starting a Raya. This is bullshit. It's
But
like, have a
even
fucking
for
night.
his like own self-image. No, I know, but I'm saying even for his own self-image, he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, that's completely awful. And
You
he
can have a
knew
night
what
by
he was
yourself that
doing.
you're not getting fucking your ego stroked in validation. Sit in it.
But also he can't because he's a shitty person.
Exactly.
And he's gonna put, and like that trumps him being like celebrity or public figure. Him being
Yeah.
a shitty person trumps that. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, that sucks. That is the worst way to. Ugh, I hate it. I hate him so much.
It gets worse. Wait till listen to him.
Two, that's hurtful. Three, it's like, what the fuck? I don't think you need Raya. I think you need therapy. It's fucking beyond me that he did that. And when I called him, Zach, really? You make a dating profile? You know what he says to me? I didn't make a dating profile. I reactivated it. I'm like, okay. If 1 + 1 equals 2,
Piece of
like,
shit.
it's the same thing. So that was like, okay, whatever. I hung up and I was like, I just like think we need a week. We can talk about this in a week. And I went off social media, and I wake up to all of these texts and calls, like all crazy. I thought something terrible had happened. And I wake up to his Instagram post when we had talked about moving forward was going to be like a mutual thing. He posted the Instagram story of our breakup because he got caught on Raya. To say in the Instagram post, like, I'm not perfect and all this shit, and then post a truck, the big fucking truck after, that cracked me up. I was like, what is this? What is my life? What the fuck? The truck after the breakup black Instagram screen.
Black Instagram screen.
So I'm like, what the fuck do I do? I didn't even get to tell my mom, my dad, my sisters, my cousins, my best friends. Everyone in my life found out about my breakup from his Instagram story because we had broken up the night before. All that gets posted, whatever. I post my YouTube video.
Now there's a dog.
I'm crying on my bathroom floor in the house that we moved in together and planned on having kids in. And
Did you notice that during the other like more like heightened portion of this, the gray cat was like rubbing up against her back and had his like tail wrapped around her arm, and now the dog comes in. He's like, all right. He's like, I'm clocking in.
Yeah.
I'm here
My
for the
turn.
lickles.
You can feel it.
Yeah.
They can feel it.
Yeah, I love that. That's like whenever Wiggum does something really annoying. I'm not going to say he's a BAD boy because he's not. He's a good boy.
Yeah.
We don't use those kind of words in our house. But he'll come up to us and he'll lick our shins and give us the sweetest little lickles.
The bulldog. I know every time that I walk in the house that Vino's done something wrong while we've been gone, just by his, like, the way he goes. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. And then I try to, like, go throughout the house and I'm like,
what
trying to figure out what it is, what he's done. Usually it's that he broke through the gate and went and ate the fucking cat litter, because I don't know what it is with bulldogs.
Is this a bulldog thing? So we have, like, the retractable, like, it, like, pulls out from one side from, like, the roll, and then, like, it has, like, 2 loops on it, and then it, like, hooks to the, like, the hooks on the wall. So we have that in the laundry room, and then we have that at the base of the stairs over here. It's 6 stairs. Calm down. He can go up them fine, but he can't go down them. So now I'm kind of like,
yeah,
should we move it to, like, the top of the stairs? Because if he sees it at the top, he won't go up the stairs.
Right.
I don't know. But then when we're up there, I'm like, oh my God, is he going to fall down the stairs? It's so spooky.
I know. There's a lot to that's us too. I'm just like,
they're so crazy.
Well, especially stairs, because they can get the IVD or whatever. Our first puppy, he wasn't a puppy, but our first boy, who was a bulldog, he got the disc disorder. And we had to, because of, like, stairs and stuff like that, and we learned about that after. He basically, the vet was like, he has 48 hours until we can get the surgery, and the surgery was $10,000. I had nobody, I wasn't even on social media, and I ended up doing a GoFundMe, like, with Brent and our friends, and we were thankfully able to raise half of it. And somebody who followed it was on Instagram, who had a lot of followers for their bulldog, and someone from there messaged us and was like, you're in Canada, are you close to Saskatchewan? Because they do, like, the veterinarian school there, and it's, like, elite, like, it's a school, and they're, it's students, like, but they're under, like, a vet, like, doctor teaching them. If you can get there, they'll do it for, like, $4,000. And that's what we basically had. And we were, like, fucking overnight, saved his life. Yeah. Saved his life. Otherwise he would have died. Like, it was horrible. It was just, and it was instant, because bulldogs are stubborn. So we had no indication that anything was wrong. Mm-mm. It was literally, I'll never forget the day. It was like my oldest daughter's dad came to the door to pick her up. And he knew Tank, and he's like, hey, like, oh, Tanko, because he's expecting him to, like, run at the door for him. And he's trying to run. All of a sudden, it was instant. Back legs, gone. Instantly, it was instant. I'm telling you, there was no indication that anything was wrong. And it was that instant. And he looked, and he was like, oh, and then we kind of were, like, giggling, because we were like,
Toby, you broke the dog.
Yeah, Toby, what the fuck did you do? We were like, oh my God. And then he kind of sat, and we were like, oh, were you being funny? Like, no. Then instantly, like, for the rest of, like, the 5 minutes exchange, he didn't move. And then when Haley left with her dad, and Brett and I were calling him to come and sit on the couch and watch TV, like, he fucking couldn't move. And instantly we, like, called the vet and started researching and learned. But bulldogs are so like, stairs and everything, like.
I love that she instantly thought I was talking about Wiggum going up the stairs. That boy is athletic as shit. I was talking about my baby. But yes, Wiggum is very expensive. We've had, like, 2 $6,000 surgeries for that boy. He's insane, and he is my best friend, and he's...
If you were going to get a Frenchie or any form of bulldog, good Lord, please have insurance on them, and a lot of a savings actually.
And that's how you know
even their food, their digestion. Like, I've never ever. I'm sensitive to food, but holy fuck, are those dogs sensitive to food?
Wiggum, we need to get sponsored by Chewy.com, because they be keeping Wiggum alive, because we have the subscription food through him, and it's $100 every 5 weeks, and
that's amazing.
It's so cheap, like, for what it is, because it has kept him alive. It is amazing, because otherwise, if he eats normal dog food, or, like, literally any human food,
Nope. Oh, we're talking about him. And then he came in. Look at that. What was the timing? I gotta go home to Vino right now.
No, you don't. Well, as he's just licking. Why are you licking?
That's what they do. They lick and snore. I don't know how to breathe.
This
and scare the fuck out of you all the time.
No, and this is my best friend in the world. Carly, my sister, and her husband, you know, they have Gravy. Gravy Boat is his name. Gravy Boat Bowden.
Gravy looks just like Vino.
I know. I sent Carly a picture and she's like, oh my God, he's real cute. But my mom threw a toy off the back of the couch when he was like puppy. Like they'd had him for like 2 months old. And she didn't think that he was going to fly off.
Linda. No, they will. They don't care.
Yeah,
Linda.
they're idiots. They are way dumber than English
They will
bulldogs.
go.
So he did. And he broke his leg. And if I can find it, because my sister has like 3 different TikTok accounts. I'll find the TikTok that my sister did where it was like, I bet you wonder how I got here. And it's him in like a half body cast.
No,
and
Gravy.
And Tony kept sending me videos of like him just like falling over with his cast.
My heart.
And it was like he can't get up. It was so funny. But he's such a good boy. Crazy, he's so good with Bean, and almost as good as this guy is with Bean. You say hi to the people? To the people.
Wicca.
My best friend. I love you so much.
Oh, fucking.
He's so big.
No, my heart. I can't look at him anymore.
His face might smell like cheese.
Yeah, white cheddar popcorn. White cheddar popcorn. That's what they smell like.
And then what do their paws smell like?
I don't know. White cheddar popcorn.
No, Fritos.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that's a Frito paw.
I'm gonna smell Vino's when I get home.
You better.
Okay, let's let Brie finish because Jesus Christ, people are gonna hate us.
He's on Raya, and at that point, it's like, all right, it is what it is. I'm not gonna get a goodbye from him. I'm not gonna get a talk from him or with him. All I got was his team reaching out to me about settlements, and I got him reaching out to me only when Dave talked about him online. Like there was no like communication other than like, what are you gonna say about me?
Okay, wait, pause. Sorry, pause. I'm strongly encouraging everybody to go and watch this full episode because there's so much more with Brie having her team and being able to like talk about things and them talk about their experiences. So I want everybody to see Josh and Dave and Brie talk about everything.
And the way they are like rallying around her though too.
I think that's also why I like Bald.
I had your back always, but you decided to get rid of the person in your corner. Thank God. Thank God. I can't wait to move forward and heal from this and just like be a voice for women that go through the same things because it's unfair. And yeah, I don't know. I don't want your money, bro. Bye.
Yes.
Okay. BFFs, Brianna, Chickenfry, breakup part 2.
Part 2.
Part 2. So I don't know where we'll go with it. I guess I'll set the stage. So we missed last week's recording. We did record.
We did.
And it was like a Brianna Chickenfry kind of tell-all, asking questions, going back and forth. That episode obviously did not air. In the course of that week, Brianna was offered, and I'm trying to think the best way to lay out this whole thing. We'll get into all the subjects we did before, but a lot's changed from the last episode. Brianna was offered basically a payout to sign an NDA to not talk about the breakup, things that happened. And it was a constant over the last week of back and forth, I think, in Brianna's mind. Should I take the money? And it's a shit ton. $12 million is what it ended up being. Offered $12 million. So that is life-changing money. And I think for the better half of the week, if you talk to Brie, and obviously I'll let Brie say this in her own words, 1 hour, she'd be like, I'm not taking it. Fuck that. I'm not taking it. The next hour, too much money. Have to take it. Like, how can I pass up 12 million? Like, what happens to like my career? I don't know. There's
Yeah, cut it off. Because I want everybody to, I want everybody to kind of watch how that all unfolds. So we'll cut off there. Some things that you will see in that, if you're not going to watch that though, was one of the main things. So if you see certain TikToks that I've shared or reposted or things that are going viral, one of them, Josh and Dave made a diss track about Zach, which is fucking hilarious. We can't even like play it or allude to anything. Well, we can say certain things on it, but his team instantly was like,
we can react to it on the Patreon.
Yeah, we'll do that on the Patreon.
Patreon.com/here for the clout.
Yeah, we can do it on there. They had their girls back. They made a diss track and they slapped, and it was funny because all of a sudden he tried to like play his newest song and put it on his Instagram and was like, oh, it's been a tough day or it's been a tough week or whatever. Here's like some new music. Like Zach Bryan did that. And then Brianna was like, yeah, it's been a tough whatever. And like said the same thing. And then it was like the diss track, and this diss track popped up. It was amazing. I think that's why I also got like really emotional. Like for my boys, like that's crazy, like to just like have that support. I'm so happy for her to be able to have friends like that. And it also alludes to like how much of an amazing friend she is, you know, like if she was a piece of shit friend who didn't give a fuck, like neither would her friends, you know, they love her.
It's also like when it finally comes out though, because while all of it was happening, they maybe had an inkling, but like a vibe, but they didn't know because, you know, she was defending
and they couldn't say anything. Oh, they did it. Like if you look back on clips of a lot of the BFF stuff, like, you know, you could tell Dave, he's not the type of person who ever, I mean, he's very controversial. He doesn't really hold back. And you could see that he definitely did a lot. And I always thought about that. I'm like, I feel like he's, you know, he's protecting her in a certain way. And that obviously just like kind of came out, and we understand why. And that he's always been in the background being like, what do you want to do? What do we talk about? Like thinking about her and just doing whatever she was going to be comfortable with. Anyways, the entire podcast episode is amazing. One thing that I do want to touch on,
brother vibes for sure.
They're like, who else would you rather in your corner than somebody with a platform like those two who have your back publicly?
Yeah. Well, I mean, even so, like when I know you said with your past experience, it was your two like very good guy friends, and when you have guy friends like that, it's like they are like your brothers. And I know like I didn't come out about any of my experience like that until he had passed, but one person that I did talk to about it was it was like 3 months before he passed away, and it was one of my brother's friends that like I wouldn't say like I'm still close to, because we like don't really talk, but I still have that like connection to, kind of, because he was the very first person I ever told about like anything like that. And like before anyone in my family, before I ever met Tony. And it was one of my brother's friends that like we were both like camp counselors at a youth group camp that we had both gone to as like campers, whatever, and, you know, grown up and become the counselors. And it's very like cathartic and all that. And it was like pouring rain, and we were both sitting after like we had a counselor meeting, and like our kids are doing God knows what. And we're both like, well, whatever. We had fun here, so let them have fun. And we're sitting on the porch of like the mess hall, and it's raining. And so we're both like sitting on these like new rocking chairs that the camp got or whatever, because they just did like all this construction and like upgrades and stuff. And we're sitting there and we were talking about that. And he had said, he was like, yeah, I don't know if you know, but like last weekend there was this incident with, you know, this person and your brother and, you know, brother's two friends, and this person pulled a gun on your brother's best friend, who was like, I refer to him as like my adoptive brother basically. And we were talking about it, and I think it might have actually happened like that specific weekend. I can't remember, my life's a blur. But yeah, it was hard because it's like he was like one of the first people I told about all that. And it's hard because like when you finally like admit it to these people who like kind of already know, it's kind of like you have to like relive all of it again, you know? So she's like reliving it over and over and over again. As like and the public is coming,
and knowing that there's going to be scrutiny. Can you imagine going through all of that and then having like opinions and public, you know,
well, it's like I said at the beginning, and that's so hard.
Same though with her. Like, I do understand a lot of people have been like, there's been times where she's like been happy-go-lucky in her relationship, and then there's been things where she does the same thing. She's a podcast. She's going to talk about like viral moments and breakups and everything like that. And she talks about it being like, well, you know, I know you don't want to talk about it, but it's public, you're a public figure, and that bit her in the fucking ass. Like, it's like, now you're kind of going through it, and we need those humbling experiences though. And I'm assuming that this is probably like Bree's first time experiencing a relationship like this, where it was easier for her to say and talk, you know, loose-tongued about other people. And I you know, would bet to say moving forward, I think she's probably going to be a little bit more careful and a little bit more empathetic about how she talks about other people's relationships. And that doesn't say like that she hasn't done anything wrong in the past or whatever, but nobody deserves to go through what the fuck she's gone through.
No, but that's also, like, I mean, it's also a silver lining, and it's also, you know, growth that can come from this too.
Yeah, again, we're going to wrap this up. I'd love for everybody to watch the rest of that episode, because I think like hearing the conversation between her and her best friends and everything that happened is really important. One thing that we didn't get to see today that they do talk about in the episode is with the more physical stuff with Zach and how he would like just lose it. And one of the things was, and we'll insert a clip like just to show kind of like the support that she's getting, is she talked about an example of this man's insecurity. And so they're living together, you know, they're whatever, you know, building their future together in their home. And one morning she wakes up and she's cooking breakfast, and in her head she had the Morgan Wallen song, "Last night we let the liquor talk." So she starts singing it as she's making breakfast for herself, and all of a sudden this fucking man shows up over her, loses his fucking mind. How dare you sing another man's song under my roof? Loses it that she's singing Morgan Wallen.
One morning, like we were out the night before, and one morning I like woke up, or I was like scrolling TikTok, and "Last night we let the liquor talk" was stuck in my head. And I walk up the stairs in the New York apartment, and I'm singing like I'm about to like make breakfast or something. I'm like, "Last night we let the liquor talk." He freaked the fuck out. Like, freaked the fuck out. He could not believe you're singing another man's song under my roof in this house that I own. Like, it was a fight for I think a week. I came up the stairs saying, "Last night we let the
what is that? Anybody, or was there is there like specific beef or something with like
that's a Morgan Wallen song?
I know that, but like, what's he care about? Like, there's a lot of songs. Like, is it specific to Morgan?
I think he really doesn't like Morgan Wallen. I think he really hates Morgan Wallen. I think he feels inferior to Morgan Wallen.
So right now, if you're seeing this song kind of retrending on social media and stuff like that, there's a lot of people kind of supporting her, and the Boston Bruins, because she's, you know, Boston girl.
Yeah.
The Boston Bruins fucking hockey team hear this, and on their social media, this is my favorite thing, they're walking into the dressing room, and it's like pretty much each player, as they're walking into the dressing room, singing "Last Night," and then the next one, "We let the liquor talk," and they're all fucking singing Morgan Wallen. And again, statement, you know, show of support. She was so excited. She's like, "I love being from Boston," and that at the end of the day, that girl, she needs the support right now. And I think that as much as we lift her up, like, let's not focus on like the negative and then bringing her down. Like, let's just keep lifting her up. Let's just keep doing the support, because I think that once you get that humbles you into other experiences that you wish that you could have changed and you wish you could go back on. And we don't need to focus on the finger pointing and being like, "Oh, well, you did this when you were in this situation, or you did this even prior." Like, it's irrelevant. I think that we should all agree that it's irrelevant, and just keep lifting her up, because I think that she has an amazing platform, an amazing story, and a really powerful voice to make some huge changes and help a lot of people. So that's what I hope comes out of this whole episode of us just kind of talking.
You know what's interesting is that Sherilyn and I said that this was going to be a very short episode, and look what has happened. We are
probably
now
the longest
at,
episode.
the 3-hour mark. And Wiggum, what do you have to say about it? He said, "You're not paying me for this." Yeah, I hope that. Why you got your butt up? What you doing? Y'all see this
That's
butt?
what they love.
Y'all see this butt?
That's
What is
what they
this?
love.
He said, "Hold on." I said, "Ass up." We might, now that I know he's like okay with just sitting here, we might have to have him just hang out with us.
Spokesperson, yeah.
Yeah, he's our mascot. He is great for engagement, let me tell you. But yeah, all support and all love to Brianna Chickenfry, if you will. I appreciate her being vulnerable and making me feel a little bit empowered regarding shitty men. If you would like to feel a little bit empowered and cathartic with us and have us roast the shit out of your ex and validate you in our Patreon, we will do so. So subscribe to our Patreon. That is patreon.com/herefortheclout. And we would love you and appreciate you so much. Thank you to the patrons for being amazing and for helping us to grow our platform.
Oh my God.
And to make it so that we
Change
can actually
everything.
like continue to do this, because Sherilyn is texting me being like, hey, we should post like 17 more videos a week for free. And I'm like, hey, that's not how this works. So yeah. Well, my child is screaming right now.
Yeah, it's time to go. We love you.
So,
This thank you for listening to everything. This was I don't know. I enjoyed this. Maybe this is one of my favorite episodes. I know it might not be everybody's because of the side tangents and everything, but I know that the people who get it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was really important and it was
it.
something that I wanted to talk about.
I feel like it was like this was very girls' night coded for me and you. It was very deep,
That's what I
very
love,
silly,
yeah.
very like on and off with that. And that's really,
yeah.
That's very much
That's what we want. That's
Girl,
very
that's
what
us.
we want.
That,
yeah, it is
oh my
very
God.
us.
Let me tell y'all, I'm not going to get specific, but when Sherilyn woke me, well, not woke me up, bitch, I was already awake at 5 a.m. And I woke up and I was hiding under the covers as a mom does to not wake up anyone else on my phone. And she was like, hey, are you awake? And I was like, yeah, I've been awake since 5. It was 6. And she goes, great, spills like the most emotional tea ever. And then the next line is, also, I have all of our content planned for the weekend. And I was like, bitch, what the fuck? What? She's like, I've got 75 TikToks ready to go. I was like, okay, I guess.
Very us coded this whole fucking episode.
And then meanwhile, I was like, all right, perfect. We're going to assess that. We're going to work a little bit. We're going to order breakfast, watch a documentary, back to sleep. Time for morning.
That was the best part. We got her breakfast. We're like, we're going to talk about this later. Got breakfast, went to bed, watched.
We're going to talk about this later. Girl, that's what I call a morning nap.
Love it. Again, I want to say sorry if this felt like so all over the place. For us, it definitely didn't. I think that this is definitely kind of the route that we love going.
I'm sorry, did you say something?
I want to pat him so bad. Had the introductions and the relatability. We will see you in the next episode. Thank you guys for coming along. Go and watch the rest of Brianna's interview, please. It's so important. We haven't even like scraped the surface of a lot of what like she talks about with like Josh and Dave. And I think that's also important to like hear the friends aspects of everything. So go and check it out. And yeah, we'll see you in the next episode. Patreon family. We will see you probably a billion times this fucking week, especially in our chats that are.
We'll see you in 5 minutes.
Yeah, we'll see you in 5 minutes in the chat.
It's like one of my best friend, Jenna. Hey, Jenna. She watches every episode. When she leaves my house or when we like depart, she says, okay, I love you. Talk to you later. And I say, okay, I'll text you in 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's Chelsea. You say that to me too. Like every time we like cut off, we know we're going to bed.
Yeah.
She's like, Kate, I'll talk to you in 5 minutes.
Okay.
I know I'm not going to hear from her in 5 minutes, but it's like still really comforting to know that if the possibility is there.
Wait, do you know what that's from?
Yeah, Elf. I'll call you in 5 minutes or whatever.
Okay, I'll call you in 5 minutes.
I'll call you in 5 minutes.
It's my favorite. I say it to Tony all the time.
I love him so
and
much.
And he's just like, no. And I'm like, okay, bye. It's only when
I'll call you in 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's only on days that I'm not working, because on days I am working, I'm like, hello.
Yeah.
Why are you interrupted? Girl, it's the ADHD.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm in a grind.
Yeah.
Why are you
you get
speaking
the
to me?
angry. You get the angry. I tried to explain it to Brent. You get the angry interruption. It's like, it took us so long to focus. Again, ADHD. We're trying to say goodbye, and now we love you guys. We'll see you in the next episode. Damn the man.
She already fucked it up. Let me start over. Take 2. So, stay feral.
Damn the man.
And save the empire.
Damn the man! Save the empire!
And save Wiggum.
We got it.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.